Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. Those of you that are new here, make sure you subscribe. And everybody here, if you could like the video, that would be spectacular. It helps so much. Liking the video helps the video get recommended to other people who think the way we think and that would enjoy this content. It's our top of the hour break.
And right now, save 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
My mouse isn't working very well.
Or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E at checkout.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by
I need a mouse pad. Let's see if this raggedy mouse pad works. Okay, yes, it's working good. I hate mouse pads. All the commercials in the audio play off a computer over here.
You are listening to South Florida's longest
Here we go, guys.
Show, the Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 888-GO-KANE.
Hey guys, good morning to everyone. My name is Brian Craig. Yes, you are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. It is Friday, April 16th, 2021. And man, do we got a lot to talk about today. Oh my goodness, do we have a lot to talk about today. And of course, this is the most important Steve Kane Show of the week, because this is not just our live morning drive edition this Friday morning. This is our overnight rebroadcast that airs all weekend long. You know, we're on the air live from 6 until 9 a.m. on our radio stations and the other platforms. But we also are on the air overnights. They rebroadcast the show overnight from midnight till 6 a.m. where we have a massive listening audience. So just on our radio stations, the Friday edition of the Steve Kane Show will air a total of, that's right, 35 times before we return live to you Monday morning at 6 a.m. So we want to make sure that the Friday show is the best, but all the shows are great, aren't they? All right, welcome. Okay, I'm going to, remember the most trusted man in America, they used to say, was Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite, Democrat, sat behind a desk, and we're supposed to trust the guy. I believe the most trusted man in America is Donald Trump, of course, but the most trusted man in journalism is James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. James O'Keefe saved America once with his Acorn videos, and I love James O'Keefe. His work is the best journalism I have seen in my lifetime, and I mean that. He's an investigative journalist, and what he does is very unique and interesting, because what he does is he uses undercover videos, sting videos. No, not Sting from the Police, like undercover stings. Although Sting, I like Sting back in the Police days. What was that? What was the song where the Police had the video where Sting was singing and dancing with all the candles? Anybody remember that one? What was that? What song was that from the Police? Anyway, James O'Keefe, they do the Sting undercover videos, and then also they have insiders come to them, and what James O'Keefe does is use primary sources. And this goes back to the days of Acorn. Well, the reason I'm bringing up James O'Keefe, he has received a lifetime ban from Twitter. He's vowing to sue Twitter, but, who knows where that's going to go. But he, this week, had a series of videos that have just been spectacular, exposing CNN. Okay, and I would say, I followed all of James O'Keefe's work going back to the Acorn videos, but his mentor was the late, great Andrew Breitbart. So, he learned from the best in that field to become a citizen journalist. And the story that he dropped this week in the series of videos that have come out so far, I don't know if there's more in the series coming or not, I hope, exposing CNN, I would say, having followed every James O'Keefe story that they've dropped since the Acorn, I would say this is his biggest expose since the Acorn videos on CNN that he did this week. And the one yesterday was really rough. So is it a coincidence that the week that he did this incredible expose exposing CNN, that he receives a lifetime ban from the Twitter, the most trusted journalist in America? Globally, outside of the United States, the most credible journalist outside of America is in prison. Do you know who I'm talking about? Julian Assange. Julian Assange. That's right. James O'Keefe is the Julian Assange of America. And I'll tell you another thing. We were talking about Geraldo yesterday. Geraldo's kind of become a caricature and a clown these days. But he was a well-respected investigative journalist back in the 2020 days. And you guys remember that at ABC News. And that's what James O'Keefe is like now. What James O'Keefe does is a lot like the To Catch a Predator guy did. I mean, he really gets people. People don't realize, when I say that James O'Keefe saved America, he did. He saved America with those Acorn videos, which were just brilliant, because he basically shut down Acorn and exposed Acorn. And when Obama first became president, that was the 2008 campaign. January 2009, he became president. The census was coming up, the 2010 census. And the census is how everything is handled at the federal level. It's how congressional seats are allocated in the House of Representatives between the states. It's how pretty much all the federal funds are distributed throughout America. Everything the federal government does has some tie to the census, and Acorn was going to run it, and they were a very, very strange, corrupt group, and Obama was going to put them in charge of it. And because of James O'Keefe's incredible series on Acorn, which, oh man, brilliant stuff, Obama was forced to take the census away from Acorn. God help, if Acorn would have run the census, who knows what, it would have been anything but accurate. And this piece that he did this week on CNN, if you've not seen it yet, go and watch it. Not now while I'm on the air. Wait till, don't leave me to go watch it. But if you do, because I'm teasing it, come back. I know you'll come back. There's a CNN director who's like a step down from like the producers on the show. And they have a series of videos of him at restaurant bars talking to a girl. And he just lets everything out that's going on at CNN. He talked about him, and this was recent stuff, because he's talking about Matt Gaetz. And, well, I played one yesterday. I just played one clip of it yesterday. I'm not going to play it now. I'll just tell you about it. But the guy from CNN on the new Project Veritas tape, he said this story he was talking about, and they're going to keep running with this story until he's forced to resign or has to make a deal, because they want him out. And he was very open with this. And I think CNN is in a state of panic. This is the second piece Project Veritas did on CNN, and this one is brutal. And I was watching yesterday's video, and you don't get to see the girl he's talking to. And I want to see the girl he's talking to, because my first thought was, are they using seduction? Because a lot of times there's ladies talking to these guys that get busted on these hidden cameras. And I'm wondering, is she like the hottest girl around? But then when I was watching yesterday's release, it seemed less of an undercover sting. He seemed to know what was going on. Now, maybe it began as an undercover sting and he didn't know. I don't know. But the CNN director that's in this latest Project Veritas release, at some point, it's pretty obvious he knows what this is all about, because it turns from him just rambling things while they're at the bar, drinking, a restaurant, eating, whatever it is, to almost like an interview, because the girl starts being, well, can you give me an example of propaganda at CNN? Oh, so they're doing this and that. If you go and watch the videos, you'll see what I mean. This guy's almost like a Project Veritas insider, and he's very well connected with major programs, apparently, on CNN, and knows the entire inner workings. And this lifetime Twitter ban of James O'Keefe, the most trusted journalist in America today, is a direct result, in my opinion, and probably yours as well, to this expose on CNN. Now, I know a lot of people say, and this really bugs the crap out of me when people say this, well, you know, we knew that CNN were propagandists. There's a difference between knowing and having people that actually work inside the building and work on the programs come out and say it's true and give specific examples. It's like what we have are suspicions. And when these insiders come to Project Veritas, or this guy's caught on the hidden camera with the girl at the restaurant, they're witnesses. They're eyewitnesses who are a part of it, who are confirming our suspicions. This is huge stuff, people. And CNN, as crazy as this is, CNN is today in journalism in liberal circles what the New York Times used to be and the Washington Post used to be decades ago. They're the source of record for the mainstream media. If something is reported on CNN in the mainstream media and in liberal circles, it's as if it's the gospel. Now, I know a lot of you liberals think the gospel are make-believe fairy tales and things like that, but the gospel to me are the gospels. I believe, you know. Okay, you guys know what I mean by that. You know, in this woke era, we've got to change our, you know, analogies and things, because we have so many of these woke snowflakes out there. But James O'Keefe, they mess with the wrong guy with James O'Keefe, because he is close to President Trump. I know he's got a relationship with Mike Lindell. If he doesn't, he will soon. And Mike Lindell's social media platform is expected to launch next week, the beginning of the week. I think Mike Lindell said Monday, and President Trump says a couple months out. And what they did with this ban of James O'Keefe is he's going to be the big star of these platforms, especially, I think, Mike Lindell's when it launches. And this is amazing what's going on here. You know, the media has always been biased. I mean, even before we were in this modern cable news generation, when I was a kid in school, we would talk about how Hearst, to sell newspapers, did that Remember the Maine and drove America into the Spanish-American War with the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor. I'm not gonna, if you don't know about it, look it up, read the Wikipedia. I'm not going to share it with you, get into all of that right now. But the media have always been used to manipulate people. Okay, and used to be newspapers. Now it's different things, but it's always been this way. And CNN is scared, I believe. This guy, we're going to find out more about this latest guy in the Sting video from Project Veritas, because what they've done with the Twitter ban of James O'Keefe is they've made him a national story again, which they don't really want to do. You know, and what happens when they do things like this to people like James O'Keefe, it's a confirmation of everything they've reported. It's like they're confirming it. And one thing I picked up on this, let me look this up. This was something that was rather shocking to me. Let me pull this up. Let's see here. This was on the, let me see, where is this story? I just was reading this. I pulled this up, the Wikipedia page for, let me just Google it. The Wikipedia page for Project Veritas. I found something there I just happened to notice, and it blew my mind. Listen to this. I'm just Googling it as I'm going. Okay, so here's the Wikipedia page for Project Veritas. And it goes through a lot of things, which I'm not going to read. But one thing in particular blew my mind. It gives you a little summary of Project Veritas on the right side of the Project Veritas Wikipedia. It tells you who's the founder and all this stuff. And then it gives you their purpose. It says, purpose of Project Veritas, disinformation. Are you kidding me? That they put this here in the Wikipedia. Disinformation? I hope James O'Keefe responds to this on Wikipedia. Disinformation is their purpose, according to Wikipedia. The opposite is, of course, the truth. This Project Veritas Wikipedia page is disinformation by saying that Project Veritas's purpose is disinformation. And then, now I've never gone to the Project Veritas Wikipedia page before because I know about them. You know, I just wanted to see if there were any updates there already on this ban in this latest story. But there's a couple other things I noticed here. Purpose disinformation, which is absurd. And then they give out their street address here, which to me is put there on purpose so people know where they are so that they can protest and harass them. And then they go through, they list their methods. Listen to this. Undercover operations, that is true. Hidden cameras, that is true. 3, entrapment. Project Veritas, they commit entrapment. And then 4, video manipulation, which implies that they manipulate their videos. So there's a war going on against Project Veritas. Project Veritas makes the rest of the media look stupid, just like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks did. Okay, because they are covering the real stories of what's going on. And Project Veritas, he's done some great work on the southern border recently, but a lot of his focus has been mainstream media bias. And this CNN series this week is huge. So they've just helped James O'Keefe. They've made him a martyr with this ban. All right, listen, there's a lot of stories to get to today, and I am going to get to them. We'll talk about this tragic shooting of this kid by the cops and what happened there, and a bunch of other things as well. Also, just to let you guys know, I put my C-SPAN interview up on my YouTube channel last night. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig, you can see my C-SPAN appearance. I have it up there, and please go and check that out. Even if you don't usually watch and follow me on YouTube, you should, because I put a lot of content up there. And right there is my C-SPAN interview. I just put it up last night. So go and check that out. All right, my name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take a break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We've got you covered. AM 1470.
Needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to take your power steering fluid, and Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, and said, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted... Florence, $5 super chat. Thank you, Florence. The Steve Kane Show, making radio great again. Absolutely. Everyone, thank Florence for that super chat. Thank you so much. Because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack. They're crooks. And also, like the video, guys. That helps so much get the word out. About my channel, this show, and all our content. Telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, guys. 22 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. All right, our number toll-free 1-888-GO-KANE-1. On Fridays, we do open phones, as long as you're relevant to the conversation. That means on Fridays, you can bring up things that maybe I haven't brought up, as long as it's relevant to the conversation. I don't want to hear about how to get fleas off the dog, okay? You understand what I mean? It's not that open, but if there's something you have on your mind that you think is relevant to the conversation, Friday's the day to do that at 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. All right, Dante Wright, big demonstration there last night. Listen, there are racial injustices, and then there are incidents that are not racial injustices. And, Dante Wright is not a racial injustice. In fact, the justice system is working. The police officer in question, I don't agree with this, but she's been charged with some heavy-duty crimes where she could go to prison for many, many years. Cop. Okay? If there's a miscarriage of justice, it's against her. But, no one has gotten away with anything here. The system is working. Now, maybe very harsh on this cop, because it certainly is, but there will be an investigation. She may go through a court process. There may be a jury trial. Or maybe the investigation will reveal some things and the charges will be dropped when things cool off. I don't know. But the system is working. I was talking to someone on the phones last week. Maybe it was the week before. But there was, when I was in college, we had to write I had a class that was on Florida history in college, and we had to write a term paper on something historic that happened in Florida, a place that we could go and visit. And I knew about something, did some research on it. One of the last lynchings in the South, certainly in Florida, was right here in Broward County, Florida, off of Davie Boulevard. And those of you people will be shocked to know this. And this was in the 1930s, and a guy by the name of Reuben Stacy. And if you Google Reuben Stacy, there are photographs of the lynching on Google Images, and there's Wikipedia entries about it. He was lynched by the Democrat sheriff of Broward County at the time. And the whole town came out to see it. And I'm not going to go through all the details of it, but they took photographs and posed for photographs, and they did it in the daytime. And it's a terrible story. I did an entire research project and paper on this, which I think I still have somewhere at home, because I spent so much time doing this. I had to go to the Fort Lauderdale Historical Society and go through documents there, and I went to the newspapers and pulled up other things. I spent weeks researching this. Was trying to determine the exact spot where it happened, and I got it nailed down within a little bit, but of course there's been development since then. But anyway, the Democrat sheriff of Broward County at the time and his brother lynched this man in front of a crowd of dozens of people, including children. It was done in the day. They took photographs, and nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. That's a racial injustice. When you have an incident like Derek Chauvin or Dante Wright, these are not racial injustices, because the system is there to make sure there's an investigation, and the system, the justice system, investigates, and then there's a legal proceeding. Okay? And I don't believe the cop should have been charged in this case. I think there should have been an investigation, and let that investigation determine what the end result would be. But she's going to probably have a jury trial, and a jury will decide her guilt or innocence. That's how our system's supposed to work. It's not like Reuben Stacy, where they lynched him with a rope from a tree off Davie Boulevard during the day. The sheriff and the half the town of Fort Lauderdale came out to watch. That was a racial injustice. Okay? And we have, in this woke culture we are in, people they don't understand what racial injustice is anymore. There was a time when there was a lot of that here in Florida. When the Democrats ran the South, you had this. All the Jim Crow laws were Democrat laws put in place by Democrats, and there were a lot of racial injustices that went on. No doubt about it. But that era is over in our society. And this incident with George Floyd, the incident with Daunte Wright, and even this new one where the kid was shot, this new body cam footage, these are not racial issues. Race doesn't have anything to do with these cases. But the media want to make things about race. The left want to make things about race. And we have this woke mob out there that jump on these things and stir the pot. These are not injustices. The last time, in my opinion, and I know a lot of my fellow conservatives get upset with me every time I bring this up, the last time something like this almost happened, and it didn't, was when George Zimmerman shot dead Trayvon Martin. I believe George Zimmerman should be in prison for murder today. He got very lucky. There were no eyewitnesses. There was some doubt. I don't know how reasonable it was, but he got away with it. And when George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin, he wasn't arrested for about a month. Al Sharpton he's a bad, bad man. He's done one good thing in his life that I know of, and that was go to Sanford, have a peaceful demonstration, gave a speech, people came out and left, and it led to the arrest of George Zimmerman. There was a process there. Witnesses were called. It was a very high-profile trial. And that was the closest, and that was years ago, but not that many years ago, but that was the closest we ever came to what I would consider to be a racial injustice. But still, the justice system got involved, and there was a very detailed, high-profile investigation. He was acquitted, but he got lucky that there wasn't a witness that could shoot down his story. And there was ever so slight, but indeed some doubt. And he got away with it. Should be in jail. But the system worked to a certain extent there too. Okay? But we're beyond this era of everything being a racial injustice. This issue with the drill instructor, is he an Army instructor or a Marine? I don't remember. You know, the guy I'm talking about with the white Army sergeant with the black teenager in front of his house. I watched that video this morning because, maybe I'll get into more detail about it later because there's been updates on it. And I didn't watch it the other day. I figured we got enough racial issues going on here with Daunte White and Derek Chauvin. I didn't want to get involved in another one on the air. He's an Army drill sergeant. I watched that original video, and I don't know anything about this kid, but he was acting strange. If that, I would have been freaked out. He was in front of this man's house, and the man never seen him around before for 15 minutes hanging out. People come by my street walking the dogs, by my house on the sidewalk walking the dogs and everything else. But they just keep on walking. Sometimes they'll ride by on the bikes with their kids. If someone stood in front of my house, especially someone by themselves, I don't care what skin color they are, for 15 minutes and I didn't recognize them and they were just loitering in front of my home on the sidewalk, I'd get nervous myself. Wouldn't you? And now this guy's about to lose everything. And with Biden as commander-in-chief, he may lose his military career. They've already removed him from duty. Everything is a racial injustice now, according to the media and the woke mob. And it really trivializes true racial injustices of the past. Now listen, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. I am going to take your calls, but I got to break first. So we'll break first. I'll come back with your calls 32 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. That's right. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Attorney Barry Siegel joining us live on the radio. Hey, Barry Siegel. How are you? Steve Kane Show.
I'm doing well, Brian. You?
I'm great. What do you
Steve
have
Kane
for us
Show.
today, Barry?
People who
Hold on.
have
Hold on.
Alzheimer's
Steve Kane Show, hold on.
disease, which is a horrible disease where you no longer have your mental capacity. At that point, when the Alzheimer's is too severe, you can't make any more legal decisions for yourself. You can't sign any papers. You can't do your will, your power of attorney, your health care decisions. You can't do it. It's too late. And obviously, it's important to make sure that take care of this planning before, God forbid, that ever happens. I had a client's parents who they had gotten Alzheimer's in their 40s, and they survived for about 10, 12 years and past their 50s. Unfortunately, it's not something that...
Well, everybody in there, I see some people taking issue. You're all welcome to call in on the air. If you're in the chat room, our number is toll-free, no matter where you're calling from, 888-465-2631. It's on the wall behind me. And you are welcome to call in and take issue with anything that I say. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Make your case.
And you haven't done any planning yet, or you haven't updated or reviewed your plan in a long time. It's very important because it's just, you can't predict the future. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, God forbid, these things could happen to us. So I would just urge everyone to make sure that you look at your plan and make sure it's up to date. And that's why we will do a free review of your current plan. Or if you don't have a plan, come in, you fill out our questionnaire. We'll go through everything very thoroughly with you and make some recommendations to make sure that you and your family are protected.
Yeah, and things are always changing. You may not even realize it because things in life happen so slowly, but over the course of time, those documents can be outdated. There's marriages, there's divorces, there's children, grandchildren that come onto the scene that weren't there when you made your arrangements, and all kinds of other possibilities. Give attorney Barry Siegel a call, a completely free consultation if you mention the Steve Kane Show. The number, 1-855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week.
Thank you, Brian. Have a great day.
You too. Take care.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Beverly?
Yes, Beverly.
Free?
Yeah, go ahead, Beverly. You're on the radio. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I think CNN should go off the radio.
Well, they're on TV. You mean television? You mean cable?
Yeah, cable, I'm sorry. And also, I was wondering if you ever found your cat.
No, I never found my cat. You know, and I actually put out some more missing photos, even though it's been 5 months this week, hoping maybe somebody's seen her come out for food or something. You know, someone stole my cat, and I look for her every single day. But I'll tell you this, I put out, when she first went missing, which was back in November, I put a missing cat photo up on the Nextdoor app, and there are some strange, creepy weirdos that I heard from for weeks. Telling, you know, just weird people, mostly adults, a lot of them women who have like these sick fantasies and telling you about mutilated animals and kids, you know, torturing animals. Just a bunch of sickos out there.
We live in a very, very, very sick world.
Yeah, we do.
It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, you know, this is the thing about CNN, though. I'll tell you this about CNN. I don't think CNN should go off television. I don't want to see anything go away, but what Project Veritas is doing with CNN is a lot what President Trump was doing with CNN. They're like fact checkers. See, when CNN was new, I remember when CNN was new, they were on the air. People don't realize how long CNN's been around, but they've been around since what, like 81-ish? And in fact, I recently, a few months ago, I watched their live footage of the day President Reagan was shot by John Hinckley, and it was they had good coverage. They really did have decent coverage. It was different, but over the years, they've become an arm of the Democrat Party, and it's no longer news. And this goes for all of their day parts, not just the evening, but they're no longer news, and they're bullies. You know, I went to Laura Loomer and I went together to a CNN town hall after the Parkland shooting here in South Florida. They had a town hall on guns hosted by Jake Tapper. I have never been so harassed at an attempt at intimidation as I was by CNN. They spotted Laura Loomer as soon as we walked in the door, and they had these big thugs, and by the way, they were white. That's not a racial description. These two young white thugs sit on the sides of us trying to intimidate us. They it went on for the 3 hours that we were there, and they even had a police officer wait for us at the exit when the show went off the air. And I saw the cop waiting for us at the door, and I told Laura Loomer, I said, CNN, they're gonna get arrested here. They got the cops here, right? Because we're conservative. And I did a preemptive thing. I said, hello, officer, how you doing? And he said, hi, Brian. He says, I'll call you tomorrow. He was a listener. And CNN tried to get me and Laura Loomer tossed out. They got this cop that was working there, and he knew me from the radio, and he says, if you throw them out or arrest them, you're going to have a whole radio station every day talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was right. You know, and that was CNN, and that was Jake Tapper's producer that did what I just told you, according to the police officer who told me everything that happened after the event. Jake Tapper's producer called the cops on us and said, why? Because we're conservative. We were just sitting there like anybody else, and this is in our community. We both live here. But anyway, they're thugs over at CNN. And I would like to see CNN go back to the way it was back in the days of Bernard Shaw. You know, when they were a real news organization, as opposed to what they've become, which is ugly, just ugly.
Another thing I can't understand is these people that do all that rioting and burning, and why don't they get arrested?
Well, they arrested a handful. Because if you start arresting people in these instances, it causes more violence. And this happens, you got to understand, these things happen in Democrat communities, in Democrat states. So the politicians and even the police leaders, oftentimes, they're Democrats too. You understand? So, you know, they don't pull this garbage in, like here I am in Ron DeSantis' free Florida, where everything is open and we're free. They don't pull that crap here, because this is a Republican state, and the government wouldn't put up with it.
Yeah, they got to put an end to that. All right,
appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And let me give an example of what I'm talking about. By the way, if you're on hold, stand by, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. This latest sad story, this 13-year-old kid, Adam Toledo, who was shot by the Chicago police officer. And CBS, this has been a bad couple of weeks for CBS. They did this hit piece on the great governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, the greatest governor in America, the greatest governor in the history of governors in this country, so far as I know. You know, Ron DeSantis is perfection. He'll probably be our president in 2028 after Trump's second term. And CBS News, they 60 Minutes of CBS, they were just destroyed by Ron DeSantis, who stood up to them and exposed. And yeah, I know. And here we are 2 weeks later, less than 2 weeks later, CBS News has got another big credibility problem. Listen to this. CBS News, they got busted here. CBS called out on social media, and now we're doing it here on the radio, and others will do this too. CBS called out on social media for cropping body cam video of Adam Toledo holding a gun before the fatal shooting. So I know I did watch this video once. I'll never watch it again. But I have to watch I don't like watching these videos at all. The only reason I watch them, these body cam, like the George Floyd, this Adam Toledo video, the Dante Wright video, because if I'm going to talk about them on the air, I need to watch them at least once so I know what happened. And I watched the un-CBS edited version. I watched the original version. And let me read this story. This is at the postmillennial.com. because police released the body camera footage right away. CBS is being called out on social media after the network trimmed out a part of the recently released body camera footage showing 13-year-old Adam Toledo holding a gun before his death in Chicago in March. You know, and if you've seen that video, he's up like there's a fence and a wall. I don't know if that piece he's leaning against is a wall or a fence, but there's a wood fence there. And he's got a gun kind of behind his back, hiding it from the officer. And CBS cropped that part of the video out where you see the gun behind his back in his hand. Why? Because they have a narrative. The graphic, back to the postmillennial.com, which is a great news source, by the way, the postmillennial.com, you should check it out. The graphic footage showed a Chicago police officer chasing two people, one of whom appeared to be Toledo. During the pursuit, Toledo stopped and turned towards the officer, at which point the cop ordered him to show his hands. In the video, Toledo appeared to have his hands up when he is shot once in the chest. Also seen in the footage is Toledo holding a gun, which he allegedly threw away before the fatal shot was fired. The video also showed officers attempting to resuscitate Toledo. CBS is being accused of behaving like activist rather than journalist by running a story with the headline, quote, 3 ways companies can help fight Georgia's restrictive new voting law, which was designed to put pressure on Georgia in response to their new voter laws. CBS eventually scrubbed the tweet containing the article and edited the headline. And then, of course, they get into the story here with Ron DeSantis, the pay-for-play, accusing him of taking a bribe, which was exposed. So CBS News, you know, when they had that Dan Rather, George W. Bush AWOL exposure that forced Dan Rather to leave television, to leave news, that was back in what? I guess that was 2004. And only recently have they been able to regain credibility, and this week they've had these 2 stories. They cropped out the gun in the hand of this Toledo kid because they don't want people to see that. They got busted right after the DeSantis. Do you guys remember what they did to Bush? There was a fake news narrative that George W. Bush was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard from the 1970s. He didn't report for duty. And there was no evidence backing this up. He had actually transferred from... Did he transfer from Texas to Mississippi or Mississippi to Texas? One or the other, something like that. It's been a long time. We're talking 2004 here. But it was when he was running for re-election. And he was running against John Kerry, our climate czar. And there was this just talking point that the left and the media had that he was AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard, President George W. Bush. And CBS News, Dan Rather, broke a story. They had a document from the Texas Air National Guard colonel who was the commanding officer for George W. Bush back in those days, and he had a document that showed that he did, in fact, it was in his garage. I guess he had a bunch of documents in his garage that showed that President George W. Bush went AWOL from the Texas Air National Guard back in 1970-something. And CBS and Dan Rather, they ran with that story, and it exploded. Oh, here's the proof, here's the proof. It was a big scandal. Someone very quickly, within a day, did an examination of this document and showed that it was printed, that it was typed and printed using Microsoft Word, which I use every day. But in the 1970s, Bill Gates had not invented it yet, and it was exposed as a fraudulent document. It resulted in CBS losing credibility, firing their anchor, Dan Rather, etc., etc., etc. Well, we find out they craft news still today over at CBS News, in this new generation they have over there, in this tragic shooting of this 13-year-old kid. They cropped out the part of the body cam footage where he's got the gun in his hand behind his back because they have a narrative. Busted again. It's pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. Those of you that have been on hold, I apologize. I got to get some things out there. I will go to the phones after the break. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. And those of you that are new to this program, watching us on YouTube or elsewhere, no matter where you are, our phone works. You have phones where you are, right? That's right. I think they even have phones on the International Space Station. So if you take issue with any thing that I say on this program, hey, it's up to you to make this a two-sided argument. Pick up the phone and give me a call, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I see some people in the chat room griping. Call me on the air. Call me out live on the air. That's what I'm here for, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be right back after this.
I'm Dr. Janae.
I'm Alan Knight.
You love listening to Steve Kane and Brian Craig for your daily dose of political pandemonium. Now you need a cure for the resulting anxiety and depression. Join us for the perfect prescription to help you cope with the world.
Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday nights at 11.
If you want answers about love, anger, pain, and relationships, join us for your chance to call in and share your stories, tears, or laughs. Take the opportunity to tell me what's on your mind.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors, focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Hurricane season is right around the corner. This gives us only a short period of time to make sure your roof and home is ready for the 2021 hurricane season. So don't delay and call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Our website is www.laportacontracting.com, where you will find our latest video and live testimonials from a few of our past clients. Our number again is 954-604-4602.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. And don't forget, when you call Tom Laporta over at Laporta Contracting, ask him about that Trump roof. He actually has the same roofing tiles that are on the roof at Mar-a-Lago, right here in South Florida. And you can turn your home, well, into your own personal Mar-a-Lago and have a Trump roof on your home with Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting. This number rings directly to his cell phone that's in his pocket or in his possession, wherever he is. Give him a call for that free roof inspection. Ask him about having your own Trump roof. Can you imagine being able to brag to your friends that you have a Trump roof? You can. Call Tom Laporta, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. All right, Dante Wright's mother, she says, there's never going to be justice for us. This is yesterday. The family of Dante Wright says it's not looking for justice after the Minnesota police officer who fatally shot the 20-year-old black man during a traffic stop was charged in his killing. Just accountability. The last few days, everyone has asked me what we want. What do we want to see happen? Katie Wright, Dante's mother, said Thursday during a press conference. Everybody keeps saying justice, but unfortunately, there's never going to be justice for us. Justice would bring our son home, knocking on the door with his big smile, coming in the house, sitting down, eating dinner with us, going out to lunch, playing with his one, now almost 2-year-old son, giving him a kiss before he walks out the door. I do want accountability, 100% accountability, she added. But even then, when that happens, if that even happens, we're still going to bury our son. We're still never going to be able to see our baby boy that we're never going to have again. So when people say justice, I just shake my head. Okay. You know, one thing about parenting, I have a daughter who's 22. She just turned 22. I can't believe it. 22 years old. Well, I've never had anything like this, but as parents, you know, no matter what age your child is, at least this is how it works with me, is I keep very up to date on what's going on with my child as much as she will let me. And my wife and I, we maybe we do this too much, but we always make sure everything is running smoothly for her. And if there's any problems, we take care of it. Right? Yeah. and even minor problems, right? I remember I was telling you last week I took my daughter's car over to Friendly Tire in Margate to get her a spare tire. She needed a spare tire. She has one of those little Fiats, doesn't come with a spare. You know, and I said, you can't be driving around. We need a spare tire. So I went over there, got her a spare tire and Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, little things like that. You know, I spend a, you know, you hear me, I take my daughter's car to Champagne Auto if there's a problem. But there's other things too in our personal life that are not in the spots that I'm not going to get into. But if there's anything going on in her life, I always make sure it's taken care of. Now, this has not happened to me. Although maybe Steve can speak to this because he's had some issues. He's got a lot of kids. Steve has 7 kids. So you have that many kids. I only have 1. He has 7. So there's been issues from time to time. He's dealt with the legal system with one of his kids. I'll let him decide. He's talked about it on the air, but not for many, many years. So I'll let him decide when he joins us later if he wants to get into that. But if I were Dante Wright's parent, he wouldn't have been out on the road that day. He had a warrant out for his arrest on those very serious charges. And you know what? They all knew it. They all knew it. You know, just yesterday, my wife and I renewed the license plate on our daughter's car. We renewed her license plate. I realized it was expiring because her car's in my name. Her car's in my name, and my birthday's next week. And I said, oh, we got to renew the tag on her car because we don't want her driving out on expired tags. And if she got pulled over for expired tags, while it's her car and her responsibility, even though it's in my name, I would feel responsible because I'm the parent. Dante Wright's mother, knowing he had a major warrant out for his arrest because of this very serious crime that he committed, robbing the girl, choking her at gunpoint for that $850 rent money, and he was a bail jumper, had a warrant out for his arrest. She gave him a car, sent him out in a car with expired plates. So she wants total accountability. Where's the accountability there? If my child had a legal issue, I would take care of it. I would help them take care of it. Okay? Wouldn't you? Of course you would. Where's the accountability with her and her husband? Are they married or divorced? I don't know. Are Dante Wright's parents married still? I don't know if they are or not. But think about this. I know we got a lot of parents out there. Would you let your child drive a car around with expired plates and no proof of insurance? Of course you wouldn't. If your child had committed a terrible crime and they screwed up their bail and there was a warrant out for their arrest, what would you do? I would take care of it. If I found out, if my child, if Dante White were my kid, not only would he be alive today, his life would be normal. Even if he made that mistake. Because what I would have done is gotten an attorney, and it was his first offense, and hopefully, because it was his first offense, the attorney could get the judge to have mercy on him. But he wouldn't have been going around with a warrant out for his arrest because he was a fugitive. I would have taken care of that as a parent. Because I feel that even though I have an adult child, that I'm still the parent and have responsibility, and I'm accountable for them, even at the age of 22, 2 years older than Dante Wright was. And if my kid had a warrant out for their arrest, I would certainly make sure they weren't out on the road on expired plates to get arrested. I would take care of it with a lawyer. So if you want accountability, if Dante Wright's mother wants full accountability, there's some accountability on her part and the father's part because they knew he had that warrant out for him. They knew he was a fugitive. They knew he was driving, at least the mother did, on expired plates out there. So where's the accountability for them? The accountability isn't just on the police officer. The accountability is on Dante Wright, and on his mother and his father too. Now, that's just my opinion. I welcome yours at 1-888-GO-KANE 1. 888-465-2631. See, when these things happen, accountability in situations like this from the families come from the people that got money to pay in a settlement, which would be the city, the police department. Now, when I saw George Floyd's brother in this press conference the other day, he was wearing this jacket. I mentioned this to Steve, and it's a jacket. It reminded me of the jacket that Rocky Balboa was wearing in Rocky 3 when he bailed Paulie out of jail. Remember that? They're in the parking garage. Friends don't do because they got to do. They do because they want to do. Remember that? And you see Rocky. He's rich. He hadn't lost his money yet, and he's got that expensive coat. That's what George Floyd's brother was wearing. It was like that coat. You know, that's the settlement money. Okay, they got the money. They've divvied it up amongst themselves. But, gee whiz, would you be flaunting it like that during the trial still? I wouldn't, but, I've got some sense. But if the mother is accountable, if she holds herself accountable for what happened, she can't get the $27 million settlement from herself. She's got to get it from the police department, from the city. Accountability is more about these windfalls of cash, it seems oftentimes. All right, I know I've been going on and on. Those of you on hold, please bear with me. My apologies for keeping people on hold. But sometimes I want to get some things off my chest. It's coming up on 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. We're here for 3 hours live, 6 till 9 a.m., broadcasting live on AM 1470, 96.9 FM, and 95.3 on the FM radio dial. You can also listen to us on the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app, searching for us by our radio station call letters, WWNN. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. We'll be back right after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach. This is Dr. Mitchell.
Jeff Remain, $5 super chat. Thank you. Everybody thank Jeff for the super chat. Jeff says, thank you, Brian and Kathy, for what you were doing. Well, thank you, Jeff. And if everybody could thank Jeff, that would be very nice. Thank you for that super chat.
Testing for all of your health concerns, including vitamin and nutrient levels, cardiac risk panels, immune system markers, and much, much more. We also offer the full array of aesthetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc., as well as the latest state-of-the-art non-invasive...
This will be my third bottle of water this morning already.
Personal patient advocates, and comprehensive wellness, all in a spectacular new setting. Call me at my new office number, 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893 to schedule your appointment today.
Be right back, guys. All this water, I gotta take bathroom breaks.
How great MyPillow products are. But don't just take my word for it. This is one of our listeners, Todd. He bought the MyPillow mattress topper, and he called us live on the radio to tell us about his experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Yeah, I'm calling to get testimonial about my MyPillow topper.
You ordered the MyPillow, the mattress topper?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I was thinking about buying a new mattress because my old mattress was getting old. So my wife's like, why don't you try that pillow, that mattress top? So I went on, I used your promo code KANE. I got a great price. Got it home, and I've been using it for the last 3 nights. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It feels like a whole new mattress.
I talked to other listeners with the MyPillow mattress topper, and they come in all sizes. The mattress companies have turned into con artists. When I was a kid, mattresses were two-sided. You'd have the mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over, just for a regular normal mattress, over $1,000. So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big savings. It saved you from buying a new mattress and turned your whole bed into a MyPillow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it. I sleep really good.
Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. You guys out there, remember, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Now, when you use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, save 30% off your MyPillow mattress topper and receive 2 free MyPillows. But you got to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big MyPillow mattress. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And...
All right, someone in the... yes, welcome back. Someone in the chat room just said, it's time for me to have my prostate checked. Very nice. Very nice DVC there in the chat room. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine you guys being at work, and while you're at work, there is a graphic in front of you of a live chat room. Hundreds, thousands even are watching you at work, and they're talking about you like you're not even there, commenting on everything you do and everything about your life, and you're seeing this in front of you as you're doing your job. Could you? That's what I do every day on YouTube. And I've had my prostate checked, actually. Any lab test now of Boca and Coral Springs, they have a prostate test. Very cheap. Go in, boom, and you get everything done there, in and out, boom, 15 minutes or less. That's right. So I have had my prostate checked multiple times, and sad news to report to our liberal troll friends out there, my prostate is okay. All right, 1-888-GO-KANE-1 is our number. Let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, here we go. Once. Yes, you're on the air. Yeah, what's your name?
This is Weezy. How did I get picked so quick?
You've been on hold since before I took the break, but, you know.
Oh, okay, no problem, no problem.
You know, you've been on hold for about 10 minutes. I mean, how's that quick?
Really haven't.
All right, Wheezy. Wheezy's starting with a fib, but that's okay, Wheezy. Go ahead.
I haven't been on hold that long.
I know. Well, actually, you have, but the show is so entertaining, the time goes by so fast. Even our commercials are entertaining. So anyway, what's on your mind? You called me.
I came on hold right after you made your late statement about the woman and her accountability.
Well, that was about 7, 8, 10 minutes ago. But anyway, what's on your mind, Wheezy?
We see you can count. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, talking about herself in the third person again. All right.
Talk about that. Here we go again. You can't shut up long enough to let me say what I.
Oh yeah. Well, say it.
Everybody else gets to call and say what they want to say. I gotta argue with you first. Here I go. I said I wasn't gonna get upset, and then you did it. No, Howlin' Wolf, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, what's on? You picked up. What did you call in to say?
I called in to say you're blaming the mother for her child's death. That's what you're doing?
I'm not blaming her for her child's death, but the mother did play a part. She did play a. Excuse me. Let me explain. I explained this in detail before the top of the hour break. But she is responsible for him not taking care of his warrant out for his arrest on those serious gun charges, and for giving him the keys to a car with expired license plates on it while he has a warrant out. So she has responsibility in helping set the stage to him being pulled over in a major arrest stop like that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's her responsibility. Yes, all of that is all true. But that doesn't mean she's responsible for him dying, because he shouldn't have died. He should have had his day in court for what...
Well, Wheezy, he didn't show up for his day in court. That's why they had the warrant out for him. He had a day in court, and he jumped bail.
going to be able to run forever. He wasn't going to be able to run forever, but now he can't live forever. Well, no one lives forever. But now he can't live. He'll never get a day in court, even if they catch him at another time, because the woman decided to shoot him in the chest. Now, you talked about the little boy who got shot.
Toledo
had a gun. A 13-year-old not supposed to have a gun. It will get you shot, and that's what happened. But he got shot after he threw the gun away.
Now, excuse me. No, excuse me. He had the gun behind his back, hiding it from the police officer. Let me finish my sentence. No, when he's leaning against that fence or wall or whatever it is, you can still see the gun behind his back. He did drop the gun before he was shot, but he dropped it a split second before. Really, he dropped the gun at the exact instance that the cop fired, and he was hiding it behind his back, so the officer did not have a good line of sight on that gun at the time.
He threw it away and then put his hands up, but
he was hiding it behind his back.
If you 13 years old and you running around with a gun, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to get shot. Oh, I'm not too upset. I am upset that the boy is dead, yes. But what do you think is going to happen to a 13-year-old he's running around?
Well, the first time I had a gun, I was 12. Okay, and I've been around guns my entire life. I just bought a new gun the other day. I'm picking it up on my yeah.
Listen to this. You said the other day, why are all the guns disappearing? Well, I'm a new gun owner.
Oh, yeah?
Because all y'all crazy people are going crazy buying guns. So why they're disappearing? Because now all of us are buying guns.
Oh.
Own guns.
Well, it's America. It's America. I've got guns. I bought a Glock 48, and I'm because of the waiting period. I'm picking it up on Tuesday when I get off the radio. The gun shop's right down the street, and it's on my birthday. But I have had guns since I was 12, younger than Toledo. Why did I never get shot by the police? And don't tell me it's because I'm white.
Shot by the police because I never held a gun till I went to a gun range, so I didn't know anything.
Well, yeah, you weren't running the. If I was running the streets, and running from cops with guns in my hand and hiding them behind the back, things like this would happen too.
So I don't run the street. I've never been in trouble.
You're a law-abiding citizen. Well, that's what separates you from Dante Wright. You're a law-abiding citizen.
Still didn't deserve to die. And she doesn't deserve to be praised. Do you know the people are saying that George Zimmerman is a hero?
Well, I don't say that. Even during that incident, I was against George Zimmerman.
Do you know how many people in your chat said he's a hero?
Well, they're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. Or uninformed about what happened that night. I took a lot of heat. People in this audience were very angry at me because during that I said all along George Zimmerman should be in prison. And even now people still give me a hard time about it, but it's America. People have a right to their opinion.
And I called early because I didn't want to get Steve upset like that again. So I called before he came.
You didn't get Steve upset.
Oh, Steve started yelling like I did yesterday.
That was him being sarcastic.
No.
He wasn't angry at you. He wasn't angry at you. That was an act.
He was very angry at me.
Tell yourself that.
Why was he yelling?
Dramatic effect for the show.
Oh, okay. Well, then good. We both have dramatic effect. So I'm a dramatic actor.
Oh, you're fake? You're an actress?
Your wife thinks I have a big ego. I probably do.
Well, when people start calling themselves their name and talking about themselves in the third person,
I do that.
That's ego.
Like the Howling Wolf. He wants me to call out him because He says crazy things about me.
Do you hear me talking that way, calling myself Brian Craig?
You don't do the same thing I do.
No, because I don't have my ego's not out of control like yours.
My ego might be out of control. Maybe you've given me this ego.
I've given you your whole identity. I gave you your name, Wheezy.
You have. And I just wanted to say, thanks, Ted Bundy. So see, I'm doing that to...
What is that? What is the matter with you? Why would you say something so stupid like that?
What? Ted Bundy? Oh, no, there's a guy in your audience. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Oh my God, I didn't realize. I'm thinking he's Ted Bundy from the... Oh, that's what his picture...
That's Al Bundy. That's Al Bundy. Married with children, that's Al Bundy. Ted Bundy is the serial killer.
I didn't mean that. I said his name wrong. It's Ted Bundy.
All right, Wheezy, I'm going to let you go because you're losing your mind. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. What's your name?
My name's Nathan. I'm from Kentucky.
Yeah, Nathan. What's up?
I've been in the situation that the young boy was in. I have, and I served my time. I got out of prison, and I've worked my tail off ever since. But I had the chance to do that because some cop didn't shoot me. I went and turned myself in. But my mama couldn't tell me nothing.
What were you in prison for? What'd you do?
Robbery.
Armed robbery?
Yes, sir.
Well, what'd you rob?
Stinking convenience store.
Oh my goodness, not much money in there. How much money did you get? Yeah, and how much time did you get?
5 years.
Oh, I don't think that's enough. That's probably not enough.
Lifetime. It's what I got.
Yeah.
Because ever since, I mean, all you can do is work your tail off for minimum wage. So, but I get to do that.
Well, can you blame? And listen, let me talk to you because I've talked to other felons. You know, can you blame someone for not wanting to hire a convicted felon?
Well, hey, it is what it is, you know.
I mean, you seem like a nice guy that has a lot of regret, but I wouldn't hire a convicted felon.
I worked with Mennonites for years, you know. So when it comes to that, they're good Christian people. They didn't hold it against me. They let me work. I never stole nothing. It was a good relationship the whole way through. So, you know, you can figure how you want to on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still nothing, and I haven't stolen nothing in years.
Well, that's good. I know. Listen, I know that for people that are convicted felons, it is a tough life afterwards. It really is. Yeah, but people are about survival, and, you know, people just are not going to trust a convicted felon in their business. You know, that...
The whole thing is not even that. I don't even care about that. The whole thing is, here it is. I got 4 kids. It's 20 years later, 25 years later, and I got a decent life. You know, I own my house, I own my cars. I got a life to live. And it's because some cop didn't shoot me.
Well, you said you turned yourself in. So were you pursued in a hot pursuit and escaped after this robbery, or you just got away with it and down the road turned yourself in?
Basically that, but...
Well, this is different. This kid Toledo ran with a gun in his hand and then he hit it behind his back. I mean, you know, and Dante Wright, he tried to escape from the police, not surrender. He did the opposite that you did. If you would have behaved like Dante Wright or Toledo, you very well could have been shot too.
The next week I was in Atlanta instead of being home. I mean, so I ran. That's the way that was.
No, but you weren't involved in a hot pursuit like Toledo. And Dante Wright was in custody and made an escape while they were arresting him.
They just shot him.
No, they didn't just shoot him. That's not true. They didn't just shoot him. They were handcuffing him. They didn't just... See, this is the problem. See, this is why people don't want to hire felons. You still think like a criminal. They didn't just shoot him. They were trying to cuff Dante Wright. And he went to escape in his running vehicle. But you see it as they just shot you. You still think like a criminal.
Did he have a gun in his hand?
He was wanted. See, this is why no one wants to hire felons. You still think like a criminal. You haven't been reformed. He was wanted on weapons charges. They have to assume he's got a weapon in the vehicle. The car itself is a weapon that he jumped into to try to make his escape. He had jumped bail. He was a fugitive at that point. They were handcuffing him. He resisted and tried to escape. They didn't just shoot him.
Man, that's not a death sentence.
Well, the shooting in itself was an accident because she thought it was a taser, but he escalated things every step of the way.
Can't say you thought it was a taser. That don't fly. You know, the yellow point on it. The cup. So she got a jerk it from a different touch.
Well, no, but still, even if she knew it was her gun, it would have been justified. You've got a felon who's trying to escape, who's a fugitive already, who jumped bail, who's wanted on serious gun charges.
And you can shoot him in the back.
She didn't shoot him in the back. She wasn't aiming to shoot him in the back. She was trying to tase him in the side, and because of the way he was sitting in the car, and I haven't seen an autopsy result come out and tell us where the bullet entered his body, but I've seen the video. She didn't shoot him running away in his back. He got into the car itself was a weapon.
There's a body count.
You see, you had me there for a second because I thought you were a reformed. I thought you were a reformed con, and you're not. You still think like a crook. You still think like a felon.
Like a crook? No.
Yes. Listen to you. You said they just shot him. You relate to him, not the law-abiding police.
I relate to him a lot better than I can.
Well, I don't relate to criminals.
I can't relate to you. I'm not a criminal anymore, and I've not been a criminal for years.
You're a convicted felon. You're a convicted felon who committed armed robbery.
I told you that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you have sympathy for other felons.
I don't want sympathy. I just don't want the police shooting people.
Well, you know what? Okay, the shooting itself was an accident. But Dante Wright put things in motion that led to him getting shot. He's responsible for getting shot.
He didn't pull the trigger. He didn't shoot himself.
He didn't pull the trigger. He might as well. No, that was suicide by cop. He was trying to. He's wanted on. Do you know what crime he committed that he jumped bail on?
You said he dumped up, choked a woman and robbed.
He put a gun to a woman's head, demanding that she give him $850, her rent money that she had in her bra, and he choked her at the same time. Somehow he got out on bail. He made bail, $100,000 bail, and he was busted with a weapon yet again while he was out on bail, which was a violation, and he jumped bail and failed to appear and was a fugitive.
And was a kid.
At 20 years old? At what point do you become an adult?
I got two boys, one 17, one 18.
Did you raise them or did your wife raise them?
Well, my ex-wife raised them.
Oh, good. I'm glad your wife raised them, not you, because if they were raised by you, they could run into trouble with the police because you relate to criminals.
Dude, if you've been treated like that your whole life, you relate to them too. I mean, if you went to prison at 18 and...
Well, you didn't just go to prison at 18. You committed armed robbery. The person you pointed the gun to, you pointed a gun at was your gun loaded?
I didn't even have a gun.
What did you tell him you had?
Well, I tell him I had was a knife, but it don't even matter.
Oh, you had a knife. Oh, that makes it better. You had a knife?
Well, that's the sad point. I didn't hurt nobody. And then the lady...
Oh, my God. You didn't hurt nobody? You didn't hurt nobody? Listen. That person that you held up with a knife, was it a man or a woman?
I've spoke to her. I've spoke.
A lady. Oh my goodness! You held a woman at knife point. You don't think she was traumatized by that?
I spoke to her. I have spoke to her.
Oh, I'm sure she loved that. Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't like that. You're trying to paint me in a picture that's not right.
I didn't paint you in a picture. You told me you did 5 years. Listen, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Kentucky Felon on the line. All right, listen, we'll take our break. It is 21 minutes after the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to The Steve Kane Show. Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
You think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Slippers. It took me over 2 years to develop because I didn't want just an ordinary slipper. My slippers are meant to be worn all day long.
Hey guys, everybody in the chat room, if you do me the favor of liking the video, like the video, and invite your friends to subscribe. You know, liking the video helps a lot, and if you could get your friends to subscribe, tell them about this channel, tell them about this program, that helps me a lot too. But liking the video, sharing it, especially that like helps a lot. What the like does is it gets this video recommended to other people that agree with us, like this type of content, would be interested in this program.
Personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable slippers
we're coming
you'll
back.
ever own.
And right now, save 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just listen.
All right, guys, welcome back. Oh, just to let everybody know, last night I uploaded my C-SPAN interview from last Friday on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Brian Craig, you can see my C-SPAN appearance. That was, well, last Friday. All right, go check that out. All right, good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
I would just like to address a couple of things that I've heard this morning. So, the last caller, did you not hear, like, not an ounce of personal responsibility? I held the woman up at knife point, but that's okay. That's okay. That's not a crime, right? The fact that he traumatized that woman, that's not a crime. The man who was just recently shot that you were talking about, Dante, fleeing from the police, jumped into his car. Do I think...
He was already a fugitive, and he was trying to make his escape.
Right, again. So he's trying to make an escape. He's fleeing the police. No personal responsibility. Right? The 13-year-old kid. Do you know how my mother would have just beat my behind if I was out at 3 a.m. as a 13-year-old kid?
My daughter's 22. If she was out at 3 a.m., I'd find out where she was. Oh, my goodness. And you know, I'll tell you, this tragedy of this 13-year-old kid, Toledo, you know, I was talking in the last hour, CBS doctored the video footage. They've doctored the body cam. He had the gun hidden behind his back on the body cam, and CBS cropped part of the video out so you didn't see the gun behind his back. Now, he dropped the gun at the same instant that the cop fired, like a split second before. But you know, but it's still why did CBS crop out the part of the video where you can see him holding the gun behind his back?
Well, here's the other half of that, Brian. everybody can quarterback all they want, but until you're in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do. Cops are going to, you know what, and I'm going to talk at Wheezy now, because she immediately called in and started lying. You know who Wheezy never defends? Police. You know why? Because instead of, she just wants to perpetrate the narrative. She just wants to keep banging the drum and banging the drum and banging the drum. What about that cop who was walking away from the traffic stop who asked the guy to turn over his AR for his own safety? The guy got out of the truck and shot the cop in the head.
That's right.
2 cops that got shot for just sitting in their patrol car in New York.
Yeah.
Of that. So in other words, see, people like Wheezy love to keep the narrative going. You know why? Because that gives her a platform to not only keep talking nonsense, it gives her a platform to keep being a racist.
Does it sound like she's getting full of herself, Wheezy?
Oh my God, 100,000%.
Yeah.
So for her to come on and say, I'm not going to make Steve yell like that anymore because he's old, she's delusional. Like, the delusion is just...
Yeah, Steve raised his voice at her for dramatic effect.
I'm sure. Just like, Brian, I've been watching you for a while now. I know when you're serious, and I know like when you're kind of stirring the pot, and you should, because it's talk radio, and everybody's got to make money. But for her to come on and just be as delusional as she is, for her to say...
Well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, with the Kentucky felon, I probably wouldn't have stirred the pot that much if he was a Florida felon. Kentucky's kind of far away, so I felt, because you could tell he's still got a criminal mentality. He still thinks like it. He's like, if they put you in jail at 18, he put himself in jail, but he's a victim.
Did it to him. So holding this woman at knife point is okay. So what I would like to say is, everybody, like I said, everybody can talk a good game from behind a computer screen, but until you're in that position, and especially being a police officer nowadays, they're intense.
Well, I'm not going to get into the details of it. I never committed a crime or anything, but I was in a situation where I had many police officers with guns drawn to my face and body, pistols and AR-15s, and I was surrounded by the police. And it was very scary, and they had the guns right up to me, drawn out, okay? A whole bunch of them. I'm not going to get into the details of it. I didn't commit any crime or anything, but it was, and I was a little nervous, and I was a little shaky. I didn't run. I didn't resist. And I did say to one of the police officers, you guys are making me nervous. I don't know if I can stand up. Can I put my hand on your shoulder? Because I thought I was going to fall down. But if I would have behaved like Toledo or Dante Wright, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead. And when the situation was all over, I was very shook up. And the lead officer told me, he says, you responded correctly and properly. He says, I knew right away you were okay because of the way you responded to us immediately. And because I learned how to handle myself with police. And you don't run. 13-year-olds, this 13-year-old kid, they're blaming the cop. Where's his mother? How many of you, my daughter's 22, how many of you have a 13-year-old child walking the streets in the dark that's law-abiding? How many, come on. If my kid was 13 years old and it was dark and we're at home, I'd be calling the police. I'd be freaking out. Where's the parents here? Where's their responsibility?
Well, what was this 13-year-old kid doing with a gun? And the other question I would like to ask is, when they take the gun, is the gun a registered gun, or is it a Joe Biden ghost?
It's illegal to possess a firearm if you're under the age of 21. A pistol. You have to be 18 to own a rifle, 21 for a handgun. Toledo had a handgun. And you know what? Dante Wright, his gun charges were on a handgun too, and he wasn't old enough. These are all illegal guns.
The point I'm making is, since Joe Biden's doing a grab for this.
Oh, no, it wasn't some kit gun, ghost kit gun. No, this was, at one point, this was a legal firearm in both of these instances, yeah.
What I'm saying is 9 times out of 10, they scrub the registration numbers off the gun.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But there is something called parental responsibility. You know, when I was in high school, there was a tragic accident here in Fort Lauderdale. There was a traffic accident with a bunch. They were older than me, but they were in my high school. I was like a freshman, and they were like juniors or seniors. And there was a car accident. And those of you that are South Florida people, it was on the bridge on Davie Boulevard that goes over the Intercoastal Waterway. And off of Davie Boulevard, and there was an accident, and the car caught on fire, and there were 4 or 5 kids killed. And the parents of the passengers, the passenger children, sued the parents of the driver and won, and they lost everything. I knew the sister. They lost everything. They were responsible for that because their kid was in 11th or 12th grade, but he wasn't 18 yet. He was still in their custody. It was a car accident. Kids in the car died, and the parents were held responsible. And so where this kid Toledo is a tragedy. He's a 13-year-old kid, but there is parental responsibility in that. Why was he running around with a pistol? And what was he going to do with that pistol? That cop, it might have saved somebody else's life in the future. And in fact, he probably did.
Exactly. I know when I was younger, I was 17. I told my mom I was going to a party. I told her I would be home at 11. Guess what? 2 a.m., I came walking up to my house. Guess who was on the front porch? My mother. And let me tell you, that was the last time I ever lied to my mother about what time I was coming home again. The last time.
Yeah, there is, and I know Dante Wright was in 13. He was 20 or 21, because I hear both said in different reports. But his mother knew he had a warrant out, knew that he was a bail jumper, knew about his crimes that he committed that led to that, and she gave him a car with expired plates and said, hey, go drive around. There's responsibility with the parents even in that instance. And by the way, let me ask you this, guys. We have some attorneys and police officers in this audience. Dante Wright's parents knew he was a fugitive. Isn't that a crime? Were they harboring a wanted fugitive? Is that a crime? Did Dante Wright's parents commit a crime by harboring a fugitive?
That's aiding and abetting.
I don't know. That's why I need a cop or an attorney to call in. It seems like there's some responsibility there. You can't, even if it's you can't let fugitives from justice with warrants that you know about stay at your house and support them and give them cars and things like that. So I don't know. It just popped in my mind. If anybody has any legal expertise, please call in. All right, listen, I got to take a break, but thanks for the call. 35 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hey, Barry, I thought it was you. Hold on.
954-977-9445. Online at friendlytire.net.
All right, come back. That's right. All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group, our elder law attorney, estate planning attorney, and also involved in Medicaid planning. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Hey, Brian. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's the weekend, isn't it? Right, Friday. My weekend begins a little earlier than you because I don't have law office hours, but we're getting close. What do you have for us today?
Well, I was going to talk about something we don't often talk about on the air on the show here. We concentrate when we talk about estate planning on revocable living trust, which is generally considered a superior planning option than setting up a will. But let me talk about a will, because a revocable living trust may not be for everybody. Even though, as I mentioned, it is for the most part a better option. Certainly, if you have assets, you want to do a revocable living trust, and if you have people that children, grandchildren, the people that you care about, and you want to give them that bloodline protection, you want to do a revocable living trust. Some people, maybe starting out, maybe a young couple with children that don't really have assets yet, they may want to just set up a will so it's known who gets what, who's going to step in as what we call a personal representative here in Florida. In other states, you may know it as an executor or administrator. But one of the things for the young families to consider is in the will, that is the instrument that allows you to name a guardian for your minor children if both spouses or both parents are no longer around. So young couples may want to consider doing a will kind of as a starter estate plan. Also, other people may want to do a will simply because they may not really have beneficiaries that are, where they have a strong connection to them. Maybe it's just because out of default they're naming some nephew or niece that they're not even close with, and they don't care about the bloodline protection or avoiding probate or any of those kinds of issues. So a will is still an issue, is still an option for people. However, for most people, revocable living trust is the better option to set up an estate plan that's going to work and protect assets for beneficiaries, avoid probate and guardianship.
Yeah, and one thing with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group, you take advantage of that free consultation. Barry, he'll talk to you, he'll go over everything, and he'll recommend what his professional opinion tells him is best for you and your situation. And this is a prime example of it, because a lot of attorneys, sometimes I'll see ads and they'll do wills or this or that, and Barry does it all, because there's not one thing that fits for everybody in every situation and every family. Listen, give Attorney Barry Siegel a call. It's a toll-free call. Take advantage of that free consultation. 1-855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. All right, Barry Siegel, have a great weekend.
Audience, a great weekend.
Absolutely. Take care. Attorney Barry Siegel. Give him a call. I'm not sure if we have... Steve, are you with us? I did not know. I just got the message that you were standing by.
Happens now and then.
Well, we're 50 miles from each other. It's going to happen. Well, not quite 50. We might as well be. Oh, my goodness. So oh, my gosh. We got one opening on the board where Attorney Barry Siegel was. Do you want to go to the phones, or do you got something to get off your chest? All right, and these calls are all screenless. I have no idea who's who. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Yeah, good morning.
No, Richie, yes.
Weekend, too. Yeah, listen, if we reimagine the police department, okay, if we do everything that the left wants us to do, will there be more of these people roaming the streets, or will they stop doing it?
Well, I think what we need to do is what do they want to do with cops again? What? Okay, I want to reimagine crime. Don't do it. Right? How about that? Let's reimagine crime. Jerks.
Statement.
I know.
But mentioned somewhere, I mean, come on. I mean, there would be more victims.
He lives in the Hamptons. He tells us the seas are rising, but he lives on an island, and a very expensive one.
So to reimagine the police, do you actually, that's the question to ask. Would there be less of Dante Rice, or would there be more of Dante Rice? Would there be more of this kid that's at 3 o'clock in the morning with a 21-year-old drug dealer with a weapon in an alley in Chicago? Or would there be more people shot Would that lower?
Well, if you don't have police, that means criminals will have less opposition to their crime. So I guess you would have fewer gangsters shot, but like our Kentucky felon, you would probably have more crime victims.
Exactly, and thank you very much for answering the big $21 million question.
Oh, yeah.
You have a great...
All right, take care, Richie the bus driver. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, I just wanted to call and say I listened to you on C-SPAN.
Yes.
Incredible job.
Well, thank you.
You were really... And I really, in the context of this show, it just shows how your willingness and ability to interact with whoever calls you and take on to whatever length they'll let you take the facts.
Mm-hmm.
You were just so prepared for that sort of a show. And actually, the moderator was good, and he really did a good job of trying to draw you into...
He was trying to set me up, but it didn't work.
You killed him. I mean, you got on that date. I mean, he was trying to trigger you, and you just...
Well, I was the one doing the trigger. You see, Steve's done a lot of TV. I've done some TV, you know, not too much, but I've done a little bit. But I've never done something like that with live calls on TV. And Steve told me, you gave me a piece of advice that I used on that C-SPAN interview, Steve. Steve said, you know, when they go to you, regardless of what the question is, you're in complete control, even as a guest, because once they go to you, you can answer or say anything you want to say. You know what I mean? So if you watch that, I did put that interview up on my YouTube channel last night. I was in control of that show the whole time, from the beginning till the end.
I agree, but you did it in a way that really was competent to, I would say, conservative cause, but really, you had some really wacky callers there. It just worked.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. It was great. Well, I appreciate it.
Back to your show. Okay, take care.
All right, take care. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Okay, man.
Good morning, Doug. How are you today?
Fine. I sent a text to this liberal guy that I know is really extreme liberal, saying they have buyers even more upset because I showed them pictures of gas prices in Miami over $3. I said, you want to pack the court and you want to make Washington a state now. First thing he says is, well, we're in control of the whole government, and we figure that we're going to do everything we want to do. Because, so I said, well, don't you think that we're going to get control again? And he says, I doubt it very much. Well, we'll do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a very strange text message conversation you had with this Miami man. You must have a lot of time on your hands, Doug.
He's a really heavy-duty liberal.
Yeah.
He knows.
What's he do for a living?
He used to be a union representative.
Oh, he's a union guy, so he's been a bum. He's never really done anything. He's got some overinflated. What profession was he in, though, that he was unionized?
The food stores. He was unionizing.
I don't even know what that means. Oh, grocery store workers? Oh. All right, hey Doug, appreciate the call. Oh, okay. I don't know where that was going. Oh man, did you? I was talking. Yeah, it was great, especially the part where it said "Thank you for your call." That was the highlight.
Decision to hang up was a good.
Oh, a good call to end the call. Okay. My call to end the call was the good call, not the call itself. Okay. Yes, I will agree with that. I was talking earlier. CBS they cropped the body cam police footage of this kid, 13-year-old kid that got shot. He had a gun behind his back, hiding it from the cop, and they cropped out the part where you could see the gun behind his back, Steve. And they got busted.
That particular shot twice, and it all happened too fast for me. I really didn't see anything with the kind of clarity I would need to shed any...
Well, I saw it, I've seen the unedited video from the body cam, and it was very quick and fast, and then I saw the doctored CBS video, and then I saw a frame-by-frame of the video in stills. and you can clearly see that he had. Now he dropped the pistol. He had it when he ran up to like a fence. He's like leaning against a fence or a wall. You see, and he turns towards the cop, and he had the pistol behind his. He had one hand up, and the other one was behind his back with the pistol, and he dropped it at pretty much the same instant the cop fired. You okay? Yeah. But well, I know when your kids were 13, if they were running the streets, you would know about it and be out there looking for them probably. And there's some parental responsibility in this. Who can have a 13-year-old kid running around with a pistol in the middle of the night? The
parents.
And it gets darker later now. So what time was this at? This was pretty late. No, parental responsibility is just not even a factor in this stuff. The parents just seem to call up Ben Crump and start to get paid is what the role is, I guess, these days. That's what happens. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the second hour. Steve is here. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE 1, 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Have you gone without insurance through the Affordable Care Act because you thought you couldn't afford it? The times are changing. I have exciting news to share with you from I Will Advisors. With the signing of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, the government has increased the subsidies available to people buying insurance through the marketplace. In fact, even people making over 400% of the federal poverty level can get insurance now and not pay more than 8.5% of their income.
Not on Sirius. You can listen to, somebody asked for we're not on Sirius. If you download the iHeart Radio app, you can put on your phone. You can listen on the Bluetooth in your car. You just search for our radio station call letters, WWNN. Oh, and this weekend, my MyPillow mattress topper is arriving. My wife got me one for my birthday. I'm very excited. And we used the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. Got 30% off. And we got included in that 30% off for the mattress topper and 2 free MyPillows, which we'll get with that too. I'm looking forward to it. My wife's been having some back problems, and I've heard such great things from our listeners who have ordered the mattress topper. So go to MyPillow.com. This makes a great Mother's Day gift, by the way, the mattress topper. Turn mom's entire bed into a MyPillow with the MyPillow mattress topper. 30% off when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and you get the 2 free pillows. And you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. I was just watching this terrible story here. The police officer, Kimberly Potter, in the Dante Wright incident, she had her first hearing yesterday. Can you believe this? You with us, Steve? Oh, I guess I lost Steve. So, Steve, we got to reconnect. I lost Steve. So, just let me know when he's back. And they've got photographs of her. It's in the Daily Mail. Her husband, it was a Zoom court appearance. Her husband drove her. You see her in the car, and she is, she's a broken woman. It's really, really sad. Now, you back with us, Steve? I don't have Steve. Okay. I can hear him, but I don't know if he can hear me. So we'll have to check during the break. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to mute you, Steve, if you're listening, because I don't know if you know you're on or not, and I don't want you to say or do something that you don't want to. Okay, now, I was talking earlier, you know, this new CNN release from Project Veritas really is amazing. It totally clears Matt Gaetz. We were talking about this on the show yesterday, actually. The CNN director is on the Project Veritas tape talking about how they're going after Matt Gaetz simply because he's a danger to Democrats getting their agenda through. Here's some audio from that. Okay, so this is the CNN director. He's saying he's asked to give an example of CNN propaganda, and he's talking about the story on Matt Gaetz. He's a problem for the Democrats getting the legislation passed. And he said we're going to keep running these stories so that he cannot get married. Matt Gaetz is engaged, so they're trying to break up his relationship, stop the marriage from happening. He just let me rewind a little bit so we can hear him finish.
Pushing that, it's helping us. That's propaganda. It's helping us.
Wow, okay. So he said, we're going to keep running these Matt Gaetz stories because he's a problem for the Democrats getting their legislation passed. We're going to keep running it until he can't get married or makes a deal. Wow. Wow. And this is an example of propaganda, he says. That is, and I've been telling you, they're going after MAGA. Well, they're trying to now connect this fake news scandal of Matt Gaetz, which he's been totally cleared. He's been cleared by this CNN guy caught on Project Veritas. He was and by others, okay, which I've been talking about this week. Now, not only is he a Florida Republican, he used to work for Ron DeSantis prior to being in Congress. He worked for Ron DeSantis in some capacity. I'm not exactly sure, an advisor or something. And they're trying to take down both Matt Gaetz and Ron DeSantis because they know that Ron DeSantis is going to be reelected. They want to get a Democrat elected as governor. And DeSantis, is it today? He's launching his reelection campaign today, I believe. Okay. Okay, you back with us, Steve? Okay. All right. Good. They don't have a good candidate to run against Ron DeSantis, so they've been slandering him, accusing him of taking bribes from Publix, and it's been totally exposed. Matt Gaetz is a similar thing. The guy just said, CNN, we're running these stories because he's a problem for Democrats. I'm going to keep doing it until he can't get married. They're trying to break up his relationship, and well, they because if his wife, if his fiance stops the marriage, they'll run with that as her believing the allegations. They're trying to get the fiance to break up and call the marriage off, and they'll say, "Look, she's walked away," which they think will give credibility to the story. So now he is engaged to get married. They're getting married. I don't know. You mean immediately? You mean immediately? Yeah, it might be a good idea. Maybe they should move up to date. Well, they got to. they have a date. These are rich people, and they probably have, you know how these girls are. They have some big wedding plan. Maybe they should move it. But anyway, they get into the bigger point of it. This guy from CNN is telling you that the stories are fake, that we're just doing this to damage him. Now, they're trying to connect Ron DeSantis to the allegations from this jailhouse snitch of the sex trafficking. Listen to this. This is Joy Reid over on MSNBC yesterday. And listen to this.
Okay, so the question for Gates, because obviously Greenberg has to give somebody bigger than him, that would be Gates. Here is at least, per the reporting, the people who were on that Bahamas trip. Notice if you see somebody's name.
Okay, now this Bahamas trip in question, Politico, which is also left-wing, had a story on this Bahamas trip where this jailhouse snitch says that Gates took an underage girl on. They talked to one of the girls on the trip, one of the women on the trip. She said everyone was over the age of 18, including the girl in question. She knows who she is. There was nobody that was underage. But anyway, back to Joy Reid.
That rings a couple of times. You had at least 5 women per Politico. You had Gates. You had a guy named Jason Perazzolo, the hand surgeon.
Now, keep in mind, she's quoting the story where one of the women says everyone was over the age of 18, but she's leaving that part out.
Fundraiser to Ron DeSantis, who apparently Gates wanted to turn into the Attorney General of Florida. There's Halsey Beshears, a former state legislator and former appointed official in the DeSantis administration. If you're Ron DeSantis, does this feel like it's creeping closer to you? Because these are your friends. These are your allies.
Yeah, just as Greenberg's lawyer said about Matt Gaetz when he left the courthouse the other day, he said, you know what, if I were Matt Gaetz, I don't think I'd be all that comfortable right about now. You have to believe that DeSantis, I mean, these are his boys, these are his guys, right? We've seen the pictures, we've heard the stories. You have to believe.
We've seen there's been no pictures. We're 3 weeks into this. The investigation's been going on for 2 years. Where's the girl in question? And the only thing we have is one of the girls from the trip said everyone was over the age of 18. And Matt Gaetz is a single guy who was dating the ladies. There's no crime here. And the story that Joy Reid was quoting, she left out the part where the girl said everybody was over the age of 18. There was nobody underage on this trip. I don't know what they're talking about, including the girl in question that she knows. They're on a campaign to smear Matt Gaetz and smear Ron DeSantis. This is all left-wing media, mainstream media, fake news, slanders. And I'm going to stick by not just Ron DeSantis, who's never done a thing wrong, but Matt Gaetz too, because if they had anything, they'd release it already. All right, listen, yeah.
Think of an example where conservatives or Republicans or anybody on the right has ever set up a totally dishonest thing like this, because it seems
no,
and that's why I'm asking for input from the audience. It seems to me that these things always come from the left. You never get dirty tricks from conservatives. And if I'm wrong, if you are a liberal out there screaming at your radio, you know, you seem to have forgotten something, call in and show me where you ever see these Democratic scandals being set up by Republicans.
No. Yeah. No. You mean, okay, now, to be clear, we're not talking about Republicans talking about a Democrat scandal. We're talking about a totally made-up fake scandal that they run with, even when the reporting clears them. No. I have no recollection of, I don't have one example of it.
Any liberals we have in our audience, I'm sure one of them will be able to give us a couple examples of this type of blatant, brazen dishonesty on the part of Republicans. I don't think they can do it.
No. But if you can, our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, K-A-N-E, and the number 1, and numerically, 888-465-2631. Matt Gaetz has been cleared by CNN and liberal Politico, all in the same week. But you wouldn't know it by listening to most of the news. All right, listen, we'll take our break. 2 hours down, 1 to go. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here. We'll be back with the third and final hour right after this.
95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Dr. Mitchell Matez of the Biostation West Delray. I am so happy to be able to now offer the latest and most comprehensive approach to health, wellness, and anti-aging at my new West Delray location. In addition to the hormone therapies you are accustomed to, we can now offer testing for all of your health concerns, including vitamin and nutrient levels, cardiac risk panels, immune system markers, and much, much more. We also offer the full array of aesthetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc., as well as the latest state-of-the-art non-invasive treatments for erectile dysfunction, private IV suites, personal patient advocates, and comprehensive wellness, all in a spectacular new setting. Call me at my new office number, 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893 to schedule your appointment today.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you for years how great MyPillow products are, but don't just take my word for it. This is one of our listeners, Todd. He bought the MyPillow mattress topper, and he called us live on the radio to tell us about his experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Yeah, I'm calling to get testimonial about my pillow topper.
You ordered the MyPillow, the mattress topper?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I was thinking about buying a new mattress because my old mattress was getting old. So my wife's like, why don't you try that pillow, that mattress top? I went on, I used your promo code Kane. I got a great price. Got it home, and I've been using it for the last 3 nights. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It feels like a whole new mattress.
I talked to other listeners with the MyPillow mattress topper, and they come in all sizes. The mattress companies have turned into con artists. When I was a kid, mattresses were two-sided. You'd have the mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over, just for a regular normal mattress, over $1,000. So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big savings. It saved you from buying a new mattress and turn your whole bed into a MyPillow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it. I sleep really good.
Well, that's great. Well, I appreciate that. You guys out there, remember, promo code Kane, K-A-N-E.
Now, when you use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, save 30% off your MyPillow mattress topper. And receive 2 free MyPillows. But you got to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big MyPillow mattress. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Get easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's tires or his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
All right, third hour has begun. By the way, Friendly Tire in Margate is open on Saturdays, and my mother-in-law went over there to buy new tires yesterday and saved $100 per tire, and she didn't go over there and name drop or anything. She just showed up as a regular customer. $100 per tire, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire saved her. Again, they are open on Saturdays tomorrow if you can't make it there during the week. All right, I'm Brian. Steve is here. Third hour has begun. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Let's take a call or two before we bring up something else. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi, Brian. Listen, this is Rolanda. I've been, I heard you were talking about Matt Gaetz. Here's my take on this. A strong conservative is a married conservative. You have to give the Democrats or the media credit for knowing that's the case. One who is married that seems to be stable, they like bringing them down or destroying their relationships because they know that is the strength of the other side. To be quite honest.
Well, Matt Gaetz' fiance is young. She's in her 20s, a young, pretty girl. And, somebody in that, she's probably some debutante type. And the pressure she's under right now, through social media, that means a lot to people in their 20s. And when this CNN director got caught by Project Veritas saying, we're going to keep with this story until he can't get married, what the hell?
Put it to you this way, I like to see them try now that people know this. With regards to that other issue you were talking about, because I know something about it, having had it happen in my own family with children, many times parents who are remiss in parenting, or for that matter, haven't been where they should be as parents, they actually end up they want to be their children's friends when they grow older. And what they end up doing, Brian, is becoming accomplices to their children's crime. It's sad to say, and I have seen it happen.
The word you're fishing for is enabling. They end up enabling their children.
Well, hold on. Let me slow down because what I brought up was something a little different earlier in the show. Dante Wright's mother came out with a big press conference yesterday talking about she wants accountability, and I was thinking about that, and I started thinking, well, wait a minute. He was a wanted fugitive on this major warrant. She knew about it. Even gave him the car with the expired text. Did she commit a crime by harboring a fugitive in her home? She knew he was wanted.
I personally think, Brian, I personally think she did. But I'm going to tell you something. I have seen that happen. I've witnessed it happen from a personal vantage point. And I'm going to tell you, what ends up happening is the parents have become just as distorted as the children. And it's sad to say, yes, he was right. It's called enabling. It really is. That's where good parenting, and to be honest with you, in African American circles, because I've seen it happen too much, Brian. That's one of the reasons why.
What do you mean, parent? Yeah.
Two things mixing together here. Let's kind of deconstruct them.
Yeah.
The enabling thing we talked about, and I have a feeling it may be more of a problem perhaps in the black community than the white community. But the other part is what has evolved parallel to that problem, working with that problem. They've turned this has become a cottage industry. You do realize every time that, I'm sure they all love their kids and all this kind of stuff, but the bottom line is it's like winning the lottery, for crying out loud. I know that sounds unkind, and maybe it is harsh, but it's real. It's real.
It is.
The fact is, when these things go, it's like it's like what's that line from On the Waterfront? It's like a free. Terry Malloy sitting in the back seat with Rod Steiger and On the Waterfront, and he says it's like getting a free pass to the polo grounds. Is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? No one likes to say that, but you can't get away from it. It's reality.
It is, but I can tell you, and I came from that point, and to be honest with you, it's devastating, especially when you're the kid that's not getting into it.
Well, hold on a second here. Steve, I know it's been a long time, so you may not want to give all the details, but you had some legal problems with one of your kids, criminal problems, and you took care of it. First thing you would be on the phone is with an attorney and making sure everything was handled. You weren't harboring them. You know, you weren't enabling them.
I think that guy from Kentucky.
The Kentucky felon?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. It is sad because it gets to the place when you say to this parent or a parent, you know, your son took a gun to a woman and put it to her head. And they say, well, he was just a kid. Brian, that is the response universal I have heard from, and I'm sorry to say this, from my own African American brothers.
Well, you put your finger right on the gist of the problem. I mean, if that's what's going on,
heartbreaking. It really is. It's heartbreaking. But you know what?
It's stupid.
Only one.
But we're going with Dante Wright's mother, okay? And I feel bad for her. She lost her son, okay? But she did more than just enable him and harbor him. She knew he was a wanted fugitive with a warrant. She knew this, and she gave him a car with expired plates. It's almost like she wanted him to get stopped and arrested.
Oh, but you know what? Chances are, if you go back into that relationship, though, Brian, you might find out that as a parent...
And she's white, by the way.
Yeah, you may find that she was remiss in her duty as a parent, and many of them approach the situation from a guilty...
Well, I mean, I don't... You use the term "you might find." I think that's good. If you looked into it, that would be an inevitable conclusion. There was no question that there was not proper...
Yeah.
I mean, was the kid living with her? Was the kid...
It's unclear, but I think so. It's unclear, but I think so.
They go in and out, and you know what? The mothers, the single mothers, are often taken advantage.
Well, why do you think? I don't know. I don't know that his parents are split or together. I haven't heard that, but that's said either. But why do you think she gave her son with the warrant out for his arrest a car with expired plates?
Really think in my heart of hearts that she thought she was helping.
You think she wanted him? Wait a minute. Helping with what? She wanted him to get arrested?
Brian, a lot of them, if they could, they will become the accomplices of their children. I'm telling you what I know. These are parents who at one time had their heads on straight, but when their children actually face life from the vantage point where they are now criminals, I have seen parents do some very strange things. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, you know, and I'll tell you, have you guys seen the Army sergeant that's in trouble now because he pushed the kid in front of his house? Well, do you know what happened? Okay. He wasn't just, no. I saw this story the other day and didn't get into it because I thought we were doing enough race, you know, with the Dante Wright, you know what I mean? And well, I watched the video that led to the big dude. He wasn't just walking. The story is he was just walking by the house and he went out and confronted him. He's unknown to any...
You use the race as identifiers because there's so many he's floating around here.
Well, there's the sergeant and the kid, okay? There's the sergeant and there's the kid. Okay. The story that they're putting out there is he was just walking by the house and the white sergeant came out and said, "What are you doing here?" and shoved him. "Get out of here." It's not what happened. The sergeant and the neighbors never had seen him before, and he stopped in front of the house and stood there looking at the house for 15 minutes. And people, I sit in my living room, and people walk by my house all day with their kids, with their dogs, riding their bikes. If somebody stopped in front of my house on the sidewalk for 15 minutes and was looking at the house, I'd get nervous if I didn't recognize them.
Bullying them like that?
I would probably call...
My impression watching this story, let's use white and black because with all the political correctness, it's hard to tell a coherent story now.
The sergeant and the kid.
Well, it's the white sergeant and the black kid, okay? The white guy was a thug. The sergeant was a...
Have you seen the whole video? You haven't seen... Yeah, the portion, that's the problem. The portion. I watched... Well, yeah. They called the police. The sergeant called the police. Some neighbors called the police. The police hadn't come. This guy is an Army drill sergeant. He's a soldier. He's probably been to Afghanistan a couple times at his age. And he went out there and to see what was going on. It got escalated. He shouldn't have put hands on the kid. But what was the kid doing staring at the house? I think anybody would be nervous. Would you be nervous by that, Roland? Hell yeah.
With you over here in the area that I'm in, and I think
regardless of skin color.
Exactly. Regardless of skin color, Brian, that's a nerve. And usually they're trying to figure out, I know from my vantage point, we would be thinking, well, is he trying to figure out a way to get into my house?
Yeah.
You think about those things.
Absolutely. And this guy here, they've removed him from duty in the Army. He's been removed from his post. He's probably going to face all kinds of charges and lose his rank and be out of the service.
I'd have to get much more information.
But you know what? His temper flare-ups, they are fresh.
Well, listen, these guys in the Army...
If it's me, I'm just going to take it flat out. Not only am I going to call the police, I'm going to confront him too. I'm not going to push on him, go out there and fight with him.
Well, that's what we're talking about. That's what he did. That's what happened.
Yeah, but we're not combat veterans and drill sergeants. You know, so you got a different personality type. You know, and that kid was standing out there for 15 minutes staring at the house by himself.
Personality type. What kind of personality type?
Well, a violent one, Steve. They're trained to kill. That's what they're about. They're not cops. They're soldiers.
But unfortunately,
they're seek and destroy is what they learn.
Boy was being provocative, and I'm going to.
Yes, he was.
It terrified me too. It would terrify me too, and I've had it to happen here. So
yeah.
The question.
No. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put hand. Yeah.
Wait,
No, this is Rolanda.
Rolanda. We answer this. Who are you more terrified of? When you say terrified, by the soldier that looked to weigh about 280 pounds?
Let me tell you something, Steve. I agree. This soldier was he was amped up like a.
Well, that's what they do in the Army.
Computer or whatever. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Coming from where I've been and dealing with it, I have seen kids sometimes in packs, sometimes as a single, looking at a house, casing it out to see how they can get in.
Well,
you haven't seen the whole video, Steve. No, we're not. You haven't seen the whole video. You saw some clip that they put on the media. I watched the whole video this morning. I think is an edited clip. You saw an edited clip.
In and out of what I saw.
A whole conversation beforehand where they get into this thing about him being alone for 15 minutes. They've been waiting for the police for a while and they hadn't arrived. And in fact, the neighbors...
Fight going on between...
No, he was standing outside staring at the house all alone for 15 minutes. The neighbors called the police. That would make... I think someone has a reasonable fear at that point.
Steve, I'm a female. I'm not say extremely elderly yet, but let me tell you something. If I see a teenager standing out in front of my own home right now, I would be leery of them. I'm just being flat out honest with you. And 15 minutes, 20 minutes, actually 10 minutes is a little too long for you to be staring and gazing at a house. And that's what my business.
And I got to tell you, he was standing his ground when the sergeant came out. You know, a normal person would leave. Yeah, but the kid didn't back down from the sergeant, but he was staring at the house for 15 minutes. The police had not come. It had been a while, so he went out there. Now, he shouldn't have put hands on the kid. I'm not going to argue with that. But that kid, something's fishy with that kid.
Provocative. That's right, Brian. He was.
I don't know if it was for a video moment to go viral or what, but there was something. We got to run. We're late for the break. Take care. It's 20 minutes after 8. This is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve is here. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll take our break and be right back after this break. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Here on the Steve Kane Show, we love hearing from our listeners talk about their great experiences with our sponsors. Here's Rebecca talking about the MyPillow.
Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca.
Good morning. I just wanted to know, Steve and Brian, that I've been listening to you. I'm 57 years old. I've been listening to you since I'm 21.
Wow.
Just so you know, and this is my first time calling. I ordered MyPillow, and let me tell you, I thought it was just a, marketing tool saying that you sleep better at night. Oh my God. I'm here to attest that it is the truth. I sleep so much better. I can't even tell you. So I want everyone out there to believe that when people say you sleep better, you really do. And I've been having a lot of issues at night, and I've bought expensive pillows and, cheap pillows, and this has really made a difference.
Listen to Rebecca. Go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and have the best night's sleep you've ever had with your MyPillow or one of the other great products that you'll find there. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Hi, Brian Craig here. We've been telling you on the Steve Kane Show, for coronavirus testing, stop by any lab test now of Coral Springs and any lab test now of Boca. One of our longtime sponsors, Dr. Mitch Matez of the Boca Raton Center for Age Management, went to any lab test now of Boca for coronavirus testing this weekend, and he called in live on the radio to share his experience.
Listen, Brian, I have a great experience to tell you about. I went to any lab test now on Saturday to get COVID-19 tested. And it was awesome. We had a little experience where we had somebody in our close circle that tested positive after 10 days, by the way. Went and had a test. It took 10 days to get the results. We all went into a little bit of a panic, obviously. So we called up any lab test now. It was about maybe 11:30 in the morning on Saturday. They said, come on right on over. I was anonymous. I didn't announce myself. We went over there. We got there about noon. We checked in. 2 minutes later, they took us back, did our test. We sat in the waiting room for less than 15 minutes. They brought us back, gave us our results, which were negative, and we were on our way home. And a little shout out to Brittany, the nice young lady who did our test. It was completely painless. It was quick, it was simple, it was easy, and it gave you both the IgM and the IgG antibodies, which tells you if you have the infection now or if you've been exposed to it in the past.
Now, you went to any lab test now of Boca?
Boca Raton, yeah, in the Sandalfoot Plaza.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Well,
it really was. It was cool. And it's easy, it's simple, and I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Forget this 10-day nonsense.
Doctor recommended. Can I say that in the commercial now? Doctor recommended. Any lab test now of Boca Raton.
There you go. Doctor recommended. Yeah, it was really kind of cool, and it was wonderful, and it was easy. And listen, to that end, go over and get tested. This is the test you want to get. It tells you point blank, did you have it, do you have it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's great. So Dr. Mitch Matez personally recommending any lab test now of Boca.
You heard Dr. Mitch Matez. Any lab test now of Boca is doctor recommended for coronavirus testing. They're located in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441. Give them a call, 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca and any lab test now of Coral Springs. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian Steve Kane here. All right. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? Yes. We've had great callers today. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. You're on the air.
My name is Gary from Deerfield.
Mm-hmm.
Comment on that situation over there. And, the first mistake he made was being in his car, driving in his car when he has a warrant out for his arrest. Because he set himself up to be, stopped by the police.
Sergeant, he's a first sergeant in the Army.
When he got stopped by the police, he kind of resisted arrest. He panicked, and he went in his car, and that's what happened there. He got shot.
He did everything wrong.
Excuse me?
He did everything wrong. This is what's known as bad choices. A series of bad choices back to back and you can't be shocked at the results.
I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean you can't be shocked at the result? What I'm saying is
you can't be shocked.
He put up.
Oh my God. Well, he's just waking up, obviously. All right. Good morning. Well, the show's almost over. You want to with 33 minutes left. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, it's Mike in Boca.
Hey, Mike.
Every day there's a new video of a young black man and a cop, and the latest one I saw, they just put it out. Did you see the one in Chicago?
Yeah, that's the one where they. That's when we were talking about Toledo. The kid in Chicago's name was Toledo. Toledo got shot in Chicago. He's the 13-year-old kid, and that's the one where CBS edited the video and cropped out him holding the pistol behind his back.
Yes. Yeah. What in the hell is a 13-year-old kid at 2:30 in the morning who's in not 1, 2, but he's been associated with 3 to 4 different gangs at 13 years old. When you look at that kid's face, he looks like he's 8.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a current picture. He's out there with a gun bigger than him, running at 2:30 in the morning. He was allegedly meeting up with some other guy who was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
This happens every day. This is life.
Yeah, well, the squad has released a statement about Toledo, who got the 13-year-old in Chicago. They say the police executed him.
Lightfoot, I believe the way she spoke, she is on the side of the police, but she's...
Well, listen, when this video is... It's very fast and hard to see. So I've seen it in stills. Okay? And when he gets to this area where it's like a fence or a wall he's leaning on, and he has the gun in his hand behind his back as he's raising one hand. He dropped his gun a split second before the bullet. So the cop... there's a reaction time. The cop basically fired at the same time that he dropped the gun after this heated pursuit. So, but, he technically had his hands up at the time he got hit, but it all happened in a split second at the same moment. And how fast does a bullet go? The speed of sound or something?
Then you have to ask yourself in that particular... In so many cases, it's hard to figure out which one you're referring to.
Toledo in Chicago is the 13-year-old kid.
Toledo in Chicago, the question you have to ask yourself before discussing that, after looking at the tape, would you want to make any decision either way on something that happened within a...
Yes. Yeah, cop cleared. I clear the cop in that case.
I don't think you can see enough info.
I've seen it. I've seen the video.
But I don't think what I'm saying is I don't believe the video is definitive.
Well, I've seen it in stills. I've seen it slowed down in stills this morning. Before I came in.
Unfortunately, the thing was in real time when it was unfolding. Unfortunately, that's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The cop trying to do it spontaneously.
I think the cop was it's a tragedy, but the cop is okay in that instance. In my view, I'd clear him.
In my view, I'd clear him because...
And by the way, last night on CNN, Steve, last night they had on their cop guy, and their expert on CNN said it was a good shoot. I couldn't believe it. Now, CNN may retract that today because they might want to get some mileage out of the story. But last night they cleared the cop on CNN.
When you said the phrase you got to remember, the phrase you have to remember on all these things is reasonable doubt. I don't think there is definitive enough information on that thing to not apply the term reasonable doubt to the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Call me irresponsible. I don't know.
Yeah, and I was during the break. I watched a little more of the video of the soldier with the kid in front of the house, And the soldier, no one should lay hands on someone in a situation like that, so I'm not condoning that. However, that kid was like a George Zimmerman type, right? Pushes people's buttons. He was provoking. He provoked the guy. You stand in front of someone's house for 15 minutes and stare at it, you're going to scare the hell out of them. And when you got a U.S. Army sergeant, drill instructor in there, these are not police officers that are trained to calm things down. I mean, he picked the bat. Yeah, it's a soldier's job to escalate. They're trained to kill. They're not trained to be therapists. So he did. The sergeant was right. You picked the wrong house here. But yeah, and this guy's going to lose. They got his commanding generals already all over this. He's done in the Army, and we got Commander-in-Chief Biden. So this guy's done. He'll be They're going to toss him out, dishonorable discharge, and take his rank away. He's 42 years old. He's probably beyond pension age now. He probably joined at 18. He's going to lose it. They got all these. They got Biden's the Commander-in-Chief. They got some liberal guy, this liberal guy that's running the Pentagon now. This sergeant is going to lose his pension, he's going to lose his rank, and he's going to get a dishonorable discharge.
It's not going to be a day at the beach for him, except it's not going to be the same as we were talking that first guy who was talking what it was like to be a ex-con and have criminal problems and trying to survive. But there are plenty of people that'll be understanding his position. Former military, he'll have no problem getting work, employment.
But that's not the point, Steve. His career is taken away. This guy has spent his entire life in the service, serving this country, and some punk instigates an incident. It gets blown out, and he loses his whole everything he's worked for his whole life, and he'll get some charity from like Hannity, who hires him as a security guard or gets him a job. With that Prince guys, with one of these groups. Yeah, come on, where he becomes a mercenary. I mean, this is awful what's happening. It's awful what's happening out there. Yeah. Hey, listen, Mike and Boca, thanks for the call. We got a break. It is 33 minutes after the hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian Craig. Steve Kane, of course, is here, and we'll be back right after this break.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are State of Florida certified roofing and general contractors, focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Hurricane season is right around the corner. This gives us only a short period of time to make sure your roof and home is ready for the 2021 hurricane season. So don't delay and call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Our website is www.laportacontracting.com, where you will find our latest video and live testimonials from a few of our past clients. Our number again is 954-604-4602.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow, here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free. I personally guarantee that they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
Use the promo code KANE at checkout, and when you buy a set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second set free. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com, or call 1-800-716-4879.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, we're back. Now, the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, I have these sheets, and they are spectacular. I mean, Steve, I don't care what the temperature is in the room, you're always the right temperature, your body, under these 100% Giza cotton MyPillow Dream Sheets. I don't understand the technology. Mike Lindell, he's the brilliant inventor of these things. Now, the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, they had been low on stock for a while. They have them back, but I got to tell you that I checked with Mike Lindell's office about this the other day. The BOGO offer is still in effect. So when you buy one set, you get a second set free. They're back in stock now, but because they were out of stock for a while, demand is high, and because of the BOGO, every order you get one set free when you use the promo code Kane. You want to call. These are great Mother's Day gifts. You want to call and get those Giza Dream Sheets right now, or go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code Kane. Again, they're back in stock, but I expect them to run out, Steve, because they were out for so long, people want them, and the BOGO offer. So go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, or you can order the Giza Dream Sheets on the phone. Call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Use the promo code Kane. K-A-N-E is how you spell Kane. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name, caller?
Oh, hey, Al, South Florida. How you guys doing?
All right, Al.
All right. I didn't read the whole thing about with the Twitter with the James O'Keefe. So they suspended him because of something with.
No, James O'Keefe had his biggest story since Acorn this week. They have an undercover sting video of this senior director of CNN who's just, and they had 3-4 days of videos out about it, just going through CNN's whole propaganda playbook about how low-life they are over there and how they choose what I mean, it was real. This was some brutal stuff. And James O'Keefe, yesterday, they had a big bombshell from CNN. Yesterday, James O'Keefe received a lifetime ban from Twitter. And they made accusations against him. He's going to sue Twitter, but I don't know where that's going to go. But a lifetime ban, and I think it's not a coincidence that it happened when he had this huge bombshell story exposing CNN.
Twitter would suspend. It's bad. Some people say Facebook is bad. I've heard people say they get suspended on Facebook for like 30 days.
Well, Facebook was not letting people post stories about this Black Lives Matter woman buying all the houses.
It's outrageous.
It sure is.
Too much censorship. Hey, remember I mentioned the other week that what's that guy's name? The rich guy in West Palm Beach, Larry. The guy I told you that likes Trump. I guess he's Larry Ellison. For like $80 million in West Palm Beach. Did you? This doesn't make sense. Did you hear what he's doing with the mansion? That he?
No.
Spends $80 million in a mansion, and he's not going to even live there, and he's going to have it knocked down.
No, a lot of these guys do that. The property is very valuable. They buy mansions and knock them down. Rush Limbaugh has 2 lots of land, and he knocked down a mansion on one of them, I believe, to build his house. They do this all the time. That's what they do.
They do this to build houses, but it sounds like he's just knocking it. He said he's not going to even live there. He's going to. He has.
I don't know. Is this the real estate show? What's going on here? Did you call the wrong show, Al? I'm sure there's a show hosted by realtors on this radio station sometime over the weekend. They'd love to talk about it. Really? Do you really mean that, Steve? You really thank him for that?
Yes.
But in Brooklyn Center, where the Deontay Wright shooting happened, they had 1,000 people show up last night protesting. 1,000 people. The cop's been arrested. The chief has been fired. The city manager's been fired. What are they protesting at this point? And the defense rested in the George Floyd Derek Chauvin case yesterday, and the way they ended it was very weird. Did you see any of this, Steve? Okay, well, the cop obviously is not testifying, and they made him. Well, this is a very strange thing that happened these last 2 days in court. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, so a lot of you have seen this because we got to hear Derek Chauvin's voice saying he wouldn't testify. He would take the Fifth Amendment. He would take the Fifth, or his right to remain silent. And they made him do that in open court in front of the jury. And when someone, and the way it's perceived, if someone takes the Fifth, they refuse to talk. That means people, the jury, and people take that as an admit. George Floyd's friend, the drug dealer, who George Floyd's girlfriend said sold them the drugs that was in George Floyd's system, said he was going to take the Fifth, and the judge wouldn't let the defense call him. He didn't have to take the Fifth in front of the jury. Why did Chauvin have to do this yesterday? This trial has been very unfair against Derek. I'm not defending him because that's a very disturbing video, and I think that Chauvin is guilty of something here, but this has been a very unfair trial against this guy. There's just no getting around it, and it's
one thing that you could point to right away, in my mind, which is an open and shut case. I think that it was definitely I'm blanking.
Well, the cop is definitely in the wrong. That's disturbing video. He's on his, we saw the video. It is what it is. He was on his neck, and it was a long time. It was.
Can't remember now what I was going to say. It's simply a question of.
Yeah. But you would. Would you send the cop to jail for something though? In the George Floyd guy, I think so.
I don't know, something minor, which I think is what's going to.
Negligent homicide, or yeah.
I don't think they're going to throw the book at him. I don't think so.
Well, we were talking about this yesterday. This other incident is right down the street. Remember,
potential causes of death. 5, okay, and it could be any one of them or any combination of them. And I think that's going to create enough doubt that going to get a lesser sentence.
Oh.
Can't get acquitted.
This jury, they had one guy on the jury who said in selection that Black lives matter more than white lives. They sat him on the jury. This is a very strange jury. I think they're more likely to get a hung. It's hard to say because of all the riots down the street that are going on every night. Yeah, let's take a quick call. Good morning. You're on the air. Hey, Rabbi.
Everything is just so disturbing. I'm not sure I have so much more to add because I listen to you guys to learn. But I couldn't let the week go by without just saying Brian's performance last week on C-SPAN was absolutely incredible.
Very excellent.
Well, thank you.
This audience should realize the gems that we're listening to. I know your mentor is Steve, but you learned well, and I was blown away, just blown away. Yeah. The host of that show had no idea who he had in front of him.
Oh, he had no idea. I know he was. He was tense with. He was very tense as that show went on. Yeah. Now, just to do a little self-promotion, I did put on my YouTube channel last night my C-SPAN interview. It's up on my YouTube channel. You guys can watch the whole thing, and it's very good. These callers were spectacular. I love all the liberals calling in on the conservative line. That's my favorite.
That was just ridiculous to have these lines like it means something. And Bo, you look great. Yeah, you took off the Star Wars shirt and put a real shirt on. You look great.
Nah, I even shaved. I shaved. I put on a shirt. You didn't see what I was wearing underneath, though.
You talked about how you painted your house. The color behind you looked great.
Yeah, I did. That was my living room. Yeah. One thing I did this because I was debating on where to do it. And, I have a studio at home where I do my podcast from. And I watch a lot of these people that are on different shows on Newsmax and Fox from home, and they all have what I call trinkets of personality behind them. All the books they've read, or the Batmobile, or a medal they won, or something. And I made sure there was no trinkets of personality behind me to look stupid with.
Yeah, even more so, the angle. You know, you're very aware of how to shoot things, and most people have it where, like, it's sitting on the table in front of them, and you're seeing their chin up, and you're not getting the front view. Yeah.
Does it come as a shock to you that I'm a professional broadcaster after 30 years? I know. But I appreciate the kind words, Rabbi. I do. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. No, Steve gave me some good tips, because I was a little nervous. Because I've done TV, nothing like that, though, where you're taking live calls, and doing it from home, because they did that on Zoom. I was a little nervous about it. Steve gave me some pointers and some voices of confidence prior, and I didn't announce it before because I knew they were taking calls. I didn't want the first call to be Richie the bus driver, the second call Al the John. You know what I mean? They would have, yeah.
Very interesting, and I'll say people should watch it. And you really, you just, the way you handle yourself. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's what you don't say, and how you have the patience. That's the real way to handle these people. Just have patience, and not. Look, we saw this week. Well,
listen, Rabbi. Now that you're done with the compliments, we got to move on. It's time to go. But I appreciate it, and thanks so much. We'll take a quick break and be back with the Gold Report right after this. I'm Brian. Steve is here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow, by over 20 retailers, has lost over $65 million in revenue this year already. Boycotts are being pushed by the left. Stand with Mike Lindell. Support MyPillow and the thousands and thousands who work with Mike Lindell. Visit MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout for incredible savings. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Support Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Don't let the tech giants, don't let the left, and don't let the media cancel Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair.
Yeah, my daughter set up the camera and the lighting, actually, for that interview in the living room to make sure it was right. She did a very good job with that. And when I was doing the interview, my daughter set up everything, the camera, the lighting, and everything. She was on the couch watching me do the whole thing. She didn't say a word. And then when it was over, she came. She's like, "I'm so proud of you, Dad. You did such a great job." And she gave me a high five. It was pretty awesome.
He's a mechanic. I strongly recommend Eddie, and he is just the best thing that's happened to this family as far as car maintenance goes. It's fixed. Bottom line, it's fixed, and the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back, and it is that time that we all look forward to each day on the Steve Kane Show, the Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. William, one of the finest specialists, top specialists in the world of precious metals. He's been advising clients on trends and movements in the gold.
Hey, everybody, make sure you like the video, all right? Like the video.
And we are so blessed to have him here each day.
Those likes help a lot to get the word out about the channel.
Movements up and down with the precious metals market. What's it looking like today, William?
Steve, as we indicated early on this week to our Steve listeners that we thought this would be the week that precious metals would break out of these sideways consolidation trading ranges, and it certainly has done exactly that, starting with yesterday's big move up $27.20 after hitting a high of $1,767. Gold closed at $1,763.60. As I said, that's up $27.20 yesterday. Silver was up 43 cents, breaking through the resistance area of $25 and some cents to close up 43 cents at $25.83, touching the $26 number.
$21 at $1,189, and palladium closed up $59 at $649 the ounce. The rally continues as we see gold hitting $1,784 this morning, currently at $1,781.50 the ounce. That's up another $18. Silver pushing through that $26 resistance number this morning, and up 37 cents right now at $26.20 the ounce, while platinum is up another $6 at $1,195, and palladium is up $31 at $2,680 the ounce. Much of this being seen, coming about as a result of the lower interest rates. The yields on 10-year bonds now dropping to 1.57%. The U.S. dollar also weakening with the index at 91.57, and Bitcoin down from $2,300 at around $61,000 now. So,
well, it's all
room for the upside.
We're all falling into place, just as you said it would. Today, a good day to visit William Youngerman Inc. Tell them, Brian, where to go to find.
Well, absolutely. Now, online, you can find William Youngerman at williamyoungerman.com, williamyoungerman.com, and he's located right here in Boca Raton. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And the number over there, they open at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we will talk on Monday. That's right. And by the way, if you have foreign currency from a trip you took, you can take it over there and turn it into U.S. dollars, too. Or if you're traveling, stop in for cash. All right, have a great weekend. Yeah, speaking of money and wealth and everything, you and I may be coming into a windfall of money in our families. You more than me. No, you more than me. No, the Democrats in the House are introducing a resolution for slavery reparations, and that means our black kids are going to get paid. They're going to get some money.
Oh.
Yeah, I support reparations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
People understand it from a special perspective.
Oh, yeah.
In certain ways, it makes sense.
Now, you have 3 black kids, so you'll get reparations times 3. Now, that's full one, she'll get it all, too. So you'll get 3. I just have 1 black child, so we just get 1 reparations, and I don't know if it's going to be a lump, lifetime money, cash every week for life. I don't know.
As they said in Finian's Rainbow, that great come and get it day.
That's right. So we, Steve Kane and I support slavery reparations out of selfish reasons, of course. But, it's just, getting some of our tax dollars back that we've been giving the government. So good luck on that. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, John, Joey.
Oh, John, yes.
I got a recommendation for replacing Elsie Hastings, Yolanda.
Yeah. I did hear they're going to have a special election there, that the governor's not going to be able to appoint someone. I'm a little disappointed in that. I would rather the governor appoint a Republican as opposed to them have a special election. I guess they just are going to do a quick special election. I read it last week. I haven't heard any follow-up on it.
What the laws?
Well, when you're talking about Democrats, with but I don't know.
Supposed to get an honest shakedown.
That's right. All right, it's time to check in with Richard Pearl, whose show Richard Pearl on Politics will be up in just moments on this radio station. What do you have on deck today, Richard Pearl? Oh. Oh.
Of this.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine lives in an apartment complex or condo, whatever you call it, just a complex, a lot of houses, and she paid $14,000 in February to catch up. They have a business. The COVID thing was a big problem, and it hurt their business. And they caught up to the rent. They paid the $14,000, and March came up, and they were a little bit late, and they were going to pay everything off by April, and they were just evicted this week.
Oh.
They got a judge to grant a motion to move back so that they could stay longer, and then they could have a hearing. And the judge reversed the decision. This was a woman judge, a Haitian woman judge. So she's black, and she did this to a black family. There's 5 kids involved. There's and one of them just had a surgery this week and had a prior surgery, and they were paying their bills. They were just a month behind. So I'm asking anybody in the audience, if you have a place or know of a place that can help these people. They were forced out literally by the sheriff. They went to prove the motion from the court, and the judge said she had the right to change her mind. So these people are now pushed out on the street. They're living in a hotel right now.
Oh my goodness.
$1,000 in February, and they told them that March would be a little tough because they're still catching up.
So they're out of a place to live, and they're broke. I mean, and also, by the way, if there's an attorney out there that handles this kind of case, I guess if they want to get in touch with either Richard Pearl or me and Steve somehow, we'll yeah. Yeah, that's simply natural. Yeah. And if you don't get that number and you're an attorney and you somehow can get a hold of me or Steve or this show, I'll forward everything to Richard Pearl too. But if you want to learn how to avoid eviction, there's a very good movie with Michael Keaton that's an instruction manual. It's called Pacific Heights. You ever see Pacific Heights? That's how you avoid eviction. Now, yeah, it was. Now listen, we're all out of time, but don't touch that radio dial. Richard Pearl's show, Richard Pearl on Politics, is just moments away on this radio station. And again, the number for his store is Simply Natural, 954-741-4045, 954-741-4045, and they open at 11 a.m. over there. All right, we're out of time. Richard Pearl, have a great show. We'll talk on Monday. All right, you want to sign us off, Steve?
Does it for this week. We will be back to do it all over again starting Monday. On behalf of my son, the technical director of the Steve Kane Show, Tyler Kane, Brian, of course, my left and right hand, and I am yours truly, Steve Kane. Until Monday, God bless America.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, that's it for me. I'm going to sneeze. The air just popped on right over my head. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, guys, I got the mic on here still, but I couldn't hold that one back. If you haven't already, please like the video, okay? You know, those likes tell YouTube that you like the video, and it helps this video get recommended to other people who would enjoy this this program. So that helps me a lot, guys, when you do that, and it's greatly appreciated. Oh boy, and of course if you're not subscribed, subscribe. All right, I got to take off because I got several places I got to be today. But I'll talk to you in a bit. I got a new podcast coming up, and don't forget my C-SPAN interview I uploaded last night. It'll be the video before this one on my channel. So take care, guys. See you later.